Hey everyone, it is the Thursday night forum. Yeah, it's gonna be. It's gonna be. I don't know what the words can be for what we witnessed today. Four or five short hours ago. Tottenham 3, Arsenal 0. An abject performance. Uh, Lacking heart, lacking desire, and lacking a lot of things. So you saw Tony for a second. Gary, welcome to the
That was
show.
enough. That was enough.
Hello.
It's had enough already.
Yeah.
And Stan is here.
All right.
And Stan, you're asking me if I put a tweet out. It was a very tame tweet. Because I wouldn't blame anyone if they didn't join us tonight at all. Because
Does that mean I can leave already?
what's that, Tony?
So does that mean I can leave already?
No. You can leave if you want. You can stay if you want. So welcome, Tony, to the show. We do have a few people watching here, so tell us who you are. Yeah, another Arsenal Anonymous meeting. BX Gunner's here. Thanks, BX Gunner, for joining us. So, yeah, Tony, what you think of that tonight?
Unprepared, shit show, ill-disciplined, crappy ref, but Rob Holding still deserved 3 yellow cards. He only got 2, so that's what happens. We're reckless under our red cards just keep stacking up.
Yeah, under Arteta, our record of red cards is stacking up. Stan, what's your initial thoughts from tonight's game, North London Derby? That was.
You know what? From the moment I got up this morning at about 6:15, because I had to do a bit of early work, I knew it was going to be a shit day. From the moment I got out of bed, it was just like not a good day. It kind of had like a Friday the 13th vibe to it. And I was like, oh, this does not feel good at all. But if I was going to sum it up, I know we're going to get into it in more detail, but if I was going to use a word to sum up that game, I would use the word selfish. And when we go into it a little bit later and we talk about this game, I'll explain why the word is selfish for me.
Yeah.
But I'm hugely disappointed because there's two sides to it, right? I'm immensely excited that we finally we've sealed 6 and we win the Europa League because that was the minimum requirement for me. And I did say that everything else from here on out is a bonus. But the fact that it's them lot that it happened to, it just makes it worse, right? It's not another team. It's like if we had done the business today, we're in the Champions League, which would have been fantastic. And it's still within our grasp. It's just the way that how it all unfolded, it was against them. It just makes it really sour in my mouth.
Yeah. And one of the notes I scribbled down earlier before, at the end of the game, Tottenham won the battle. Arsenal can still win the war and have to still win the war, Gary.
Yeah. I mean, Arsenal knew what was going to happen today. They knew how the officials were going to do their job. They knew how that team was going to play. They knew what they needed to do. Arteta knew his players, so he probably definitely knew what he had in terms of the squad depth for the game. All these things Arsenal knew, and they didn't get any of them right. Not one thing right. Officials, of course, did their job. They did not. 50-50 calls went against us pretty much any time there was 50-50. I could let it go or I can call it. They called it. That team's going to do what they do. They're going to try to draw as many fouls, try to get into our heads, all of that stuff. We fell for it. We took the bait because we knew how they play, and we took the bait. We needed one of the things I said going into the game is that we're going to need to be clinical when we have our opportunities because they're going to give it to us. Mm-hmm. Didn't do that. No. And I think Arteta set up his team and took a risk, and it failed. I mean, if Tomiyasu's playing, then Tomiyasu should be guarding their biggest threat. Yeah. He should be on the same side as that. So, everything about the game, it was a perfect storm of how not to come into a game knowing exactly how it will play out if you do things the wrong way. If you're meant, and like Stan said, I think. Well, I don't think he said selfish, but I think it's we're just not prepared. We just weren't prepared for this game, and it's not like we haven't played them before. It's not like Arteta hasn't seen this team before, played against some of these same players.
Yeah.
So I kind of feel like perfect storm. Guess what? Perfect storm. We sunk. Somebody went down. Do you see that at the end of the perfect storm? The guy goes down with the boat. That was us, man.
Well,
Amelia Gale. We went down. We went down in the perfect storm, man.
Stephen Denham, he's going to put us on the TV, so he'll not be in the chat much. And Stephen, the Arsenal Misfit, did. Yeah, this is part of my notes as well. Why is Tomiyasu not assigned to Son? When we put our best defender on Leeds' best attacker, and we didn't follow suit with that in North London Derby. As soon as the match started, my first comment in Ryan's watch-along was, why is Tomiyasu not facing Son? I asked that question 2 more times before the penalty. Arteta left holding exposed with Cedric in front. Tony?
I remember the first thing after the game on the weekend was all the fans were like, I want Tomiyasu to start on the left. I'm like, no, you don't. Son plays on the other side. You want Tomiyasu playing in his normal right back position. Just doesn't make sense.
You want players, ideally, to be playing in their best position, even though they may have a secondary position. And for me, if Cedric's already the B player in the lineup, your weak link, by moving Tomiyasu around, now you've got 2 weak links. Just have the stronger one in Tomiyasu and put up with having a weaker link on the left side in Cedric. Because I remember one of the selling points when Cedric was presented to us was that he could play on both sides and how handy that would be. So use him as the one to be jiggery pokering around. This week you're over there, this week you're over there. The one that we've invested the money in, the one that's the better defender, keep him where his superpowers are going to be at the highest peak. It doesn't make any sense to me. That again, we've had this. We've said this phrase before about Arteta: too cool for school. He's just trying. Why try and reinvent the wheel? It's round. Leave it alone.
Square pegs, round holes, right?
No, think about it.
He wants square wheels, right?
Gary?
I was just gonna. I had a thought as Stan was talking, and now let me see if I can get it back.
I do that all the time.
No. You know what? This is almost like probably putting Xhaka at left back. I mean,
yeah.
Any team that would do that, you think they're crazy, right? Good thing we're not that dumb, right? We wouldn't put our midfielder on a left back position, right? And we wouldn't do it twice. So why would we not put Tomiyasu in his strongest position against, like you said, the best defender? Because if he's on the pitch, he should be playing in his spot, right? So
Son couldn't believe it when he came out, but Son saw that and was like, "Oh, look at what I've got, Cedric. Come on."
So think about it. So once again, we decided to use our left and right backs incorrectly and weaken both of them, both sides, because Tomiyasu had not much to give. He wasn't concerned with Dujon as much as Son was licking his lips, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? He did exactly what that team does. I feel like that their DNA is what it is. They are just gonna take advantage of you, and if you take the bait, which we did, we took it. They set us up, and we brought it home. You're gonna pay for it, and that's what happened today. That's what happened today.
I really don't care where Tomiyasu could have played, but if he could have followed Son all over the pitch, I would have been okay with that. Do a complete man-marking job on Son. And if he is in our right-back position, then Tomiyasu's got to be in that right-back position, marking Son. Their most dangerous player, And as Stephen said, Conte must have been jumping with joy inside when he saw Tomiyasu on the left.
I just tried to play and they just crossed the field and it's all just a joke.
Yeah. The only other the other game day decision was, of course, Rob Holding deputising for Ben White in the right centre back position.
And to me, that's another reason you don't play your weaker right back, because Holding usually struggles if they're not a good, solid right back beside him.
So, I mean, this is we're just switching chairs on the Titanic, basically. With all this, we're still going
Rearranging.
to no. Think about it. We keep changing chairs on the deck, because when you put Tavares next to Gabriel, we know that doesn't work, and now we know Cedric and Holding isn't going to work, because they are both bench players, squad players. At the least, have somebody next to them that knows how to to back them up, right? No, we don't do that.
And
Especially when the threat is coming from a particular side. I mean, I have a feeling no matter what we did, Dusan would have probably had a really good day. I mean, think about it. Dusan was lucky. I guess maybe we'll get to that. Dusan should have drawn a yellow on our former captain today in the game.
Dusan Kovacic or whatever. What's his name again? Kulusevski.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I mean, he should have drawn a yellow on Xhaka in the game, right? And we were lucky that didn't happen. He saved it until the 90th
90th minute, yeah. I did have to laugh about Granit Xhaka getting his customary yellow card in the 90th minute. Gary, we've seen this last season. It was Holding and Bellerin. The same fixture last season. Partey gets pushed onto the field in that killer move, and we lose 2-0. Perez said months ago we need another centre back. So
yeah, no, well, you know what? Our depth is an issue, and that's some of the things we needed to do in the January window. Coincidentally, Betancourt and Dusan helped their team out today. Surprise, surprise. No, that's what happens when you bring in a January, transfer. They sometimes help you out, especially when you're missing pieces. We're missing a whole lot of pieces, and we didn't do any of that business, and we got punished for it today.
And we're going to talk about Newcastle a little bit once we get through this game, but we don't even know what kind of side we're going to be able to put out there, Stan, on Monday night.
So, I mean, I've heard Rob Holding's name mentioned twice so far. I just want to check: are we officially going in on him now? Because I can park it if you want. We can talk about something. I didn't want to start off if we weren't going there yet.
We can pick on anybody. We're going to be
mentioned twice.
We can pick any player. What player are you going to give a positive to in this game?
Yeah.
Because when I said that earlier, that if I was going to use a word to describe this game, I said the word selfish. Rob Holding was extremely selfish today. And this is a player this is not a young guy that's just coming up through the academy, first season. The guy's been around for a long time. And this is a guy that, up until recently, had been having some kind of a redemption story. Every time he's been coming in to plug gaps and plug holes, he's played incredibly well. Done a good job for us. So much so that I was even saying to myself, you know what? Maybe we could even keep this guy around for another season. It's a problem that we don't have to worry about, because we've got bigger fish to fry if he can like come in and be a backup this well. Well, today he just tore all of that down to shreds. He just tore all of that down. And if I'm the manager watching that, I would think to myself, you know what? This is our biggest game. This is our biggest game of the season. And that's how you're going to start carrying on. Now you're going to start doing that shit. It was almost like the guy was possessed by the soul of Squadron Mustafi. It's all the time, right? If he can't tackle the player, so he's got to hug him. He's got to keep hugging him. I see Mustafi do that all the time. David Luiz had a little bit of that to his game. We know that Xhaka's got that to his game. Now Rob Holding was on it all day, the hugging. And to me,
he also had an elbow in him and a roll up.
And to me, when I see that, I just think to myself, do players do that because they just don't have any confidence or self-belief in their own talents, that they have to resort to like wrestling with the player because they can't tackle them? And when the referee booked him, that's what you call like a cumulative booking. He said to him, listen, this is like the third, you saw the ref say like, this is like the third time now.
We did one of these things.
Second.
So I'm going to have to book you. right?
Yeah.
And what does he go and do? He goes and does the same thing again.
Stan, I think it's more Zaka and Holding being slower than molasses more than
and
them not believing
that is
their talent. They're just so slow. Like
it's
don't
so
have another
selfish.
choice.
That's not
But
an
it's just,
excuse. It's not an
it's so
excuse.
selfish thing to do, right? Because these players, right, if they, as we've discussed, for getting to Champions League, they get a bonus of £500,000. If I'm one of those players, if we miss out on the Champions League, say by a point, every time I looked at Rob Holding, I would just see big bags of money that I'm not getting. He has to go now, man. I can't. I don't trust him. Even when he goes for a nice patch like he has, and I thought he was redeeming himself, he goes
I've
and
never
does that.
trusted him.
He goes
No,
and does that in
you're
our
looking
biggest
at it.
game.
You're looking at it totally wrong, though. You're looking at it totally wrong. Yeah, because White, White, Holding, Cedric, El Neni, they are not players we depend on to start games consistently for us. They're not. They're not taking away a position when they come on and have a good patch of games, right? As I've been saying all along for a very long time, they're not Jota like, right? Jota could start for Liverpool, no problem. They wouldn't lose a beat. We don't have any of that on our bench except for Emil Rowe. That's it. Right? That's the only player on our bench that can take a starting spot from a player on the pitch. Everybody else, nope. We don't have any of that. And that's what we need to have. We need to have players that can start, and we are comfortable and confident that they'll get the job done whenever they come on consistently. If that means for a month, if that means for one day, one game, that's so. I always err on the side of, all right, Holding's doing good now, but I just don't like having to depend on him to do this game in, game out. That's not going to happen. So
this isn't a case though
we
that
shouldn't be surprised by what we saw today.
This isn't a case though that he had a flush of red and went in with a really reckless challenge out of the blue. You're like, oh, what are you going to? This is something that he was continually doing. He was continually doing it, right? And he was told by the referee to leave it out. Not only that, I mean, Mikel Arteta is constantly shouting and barking, as we all know. Was none of that a message to Rob Holding to fucking simmer down a little bit? Was there no message from the coaching staff to say, "Oi, come on, man, what the fuck's going on? You calm it down a little bit."
Yeah.
Surely there must have been a message. I don't know. I just find his actions selfish, man. That is the selfish thing to do. Because what happened there is, I'm listening to people now. I was saying that I had Tottenham played and blah blah blah, but we never know. We were never given the chance to play the game and to match them because we went down a man. Because the beginning of the game, I thought that we were looking all right. At the beginning of the game, we looked okay. We looked like we were in control of things. But going down by Rob Holding doing that, we didn't have an opportunity to then even have a chance to play. It was all over. It was all over.
Yeah, and that's the problem. Who's going to tell Holding stop it? Who's going to tell Holding get your head right? Who's going to tell Holding? You know what, dude? You got your yellow. We can't have you out of this match.
Holding shouldn't even be told, right? He's one of the oldest ones out there as well, right? He's a senior head.
When have the oldest players helped out? When have the oldest players on this pitch? When have they think about it? Somebody needed to step up. I'm still like, why isn't Ramsdale screaming at these guys? They are screwing up everything in front of him. He can see all of this time and time again. All right. He's not saying a damn thing. He used to scream at his players, especially, and get their head right because they're not in the game.
I think we've lost the balance a bit, Gary.
We're losing.
I don't know what happened to the communication back there ever since Kearney went out. It just totally went out the window.
I think we've lost the balance a little bit. Ramsdale and Gabriel at the turn this year, and the New Year's Day we played Man City. There was a lot of shithousery going on. We've been doing this through the season. I think we tried to get away with a little bit of shithousery every game, and this was not the game for it. You're talking about Holding against Son. Holding is good against the likes of Mane. Man marking. Son is going to accentuate and bring to attention everything that happens to him. And he's got a partner there in Harry Kane who's going to remonstrate to the referee every time something happens. And yes, Holding did use his elbow, and the two yellow cards.
He left his elbow up. I know he left it up to keep him at bay, but he's got to know where he is on the pitch when he does that.
Mhm.
There is nobody behind him, or if there is, Son still has an opportunity if he gets by him to go one-on-one with the goalkeeper. So he cannot do anything silly at that point. He can attack the ball, which he doesn't do because you can see him kind of put that arm up. He doesn't. He's not really attacking the ball like he's supposed to. And that's the difference, I think, and that's why you look at like a Van Dijk, he attacks that ball. When's the last time you see him go through a man? He doesn't because he attacks the ball, gets there first because that's the only thing that's on his mind. Inside the box, he does it. Outside the box, he does it. I mean, we're asking too much of Holding, yes, but he's played in this game. He's playing these types of games, or he's seen it from the sidelines.
I don't think it's asking too much of Holding to not elbow the player in the face.
I think he's been given the instruction. Listen, keep whatever you do, keep tight to Son. Don't let him turn on you, and pull away. And he's just taking it so literally. Do you know what I mean?
I wish a defender was told, you know what, stick to Martinelli or Saka. They don't do that because that's stupid. Because guess what? They're just going to go right by you and make you look silly every time. That's even if that was a thought or if there was a plan to do that, it's just like you don't want to do that, right? Because Son, you're not going to. None of our back line is going to keep up with Son if you put him in that situation. You have to play as a team back there. We're not going to beat Son one-on-one. We're not there yet. We don't have one player that can stick up to Son or to Kane one-on-one. We need to be smart about it. We know where the ball's going. We should be able to get there first. All those things that defenders are supposed to know. So I kind of feel like we took the bait, and guess what? We paid for it. And this is on this is pre-game discussion, right? We know how they're going to play. We know what they're going to do. I might say this 10 more times throughout tonight, but we know how they play. Everybody knew this is going to happen. Everything that they did, as far as if there's any kind of contact, they're going to go down. They're going to bring us down. They're going to do anything. If you can get an elbow in there, do it. We took the bait and we got hooked, snagged, and done.
Yeah. I do think Tomiyasu would have been able to mark Son. I do believe. I would have hoped that Tomiyasu would have been on Son today. Holding Son was not a good matchup, and
we didn't even change it after the first or the second goal. I mean, you at the least switch him over there for a little bit of time to finish off the half, right? I mean,
Gary, do you know what that's called?
Mikel Arteta's, the camera went on him, and it was like just after 60 minutes, 65 minutes, maybe something around there, and he was just sat down in the dugout. Didn't have a fucking Scooby-Doo, mate, of what he was doing. And we all know that Mikel Arteta is usually never sat down, right? He's always in his dugout, shouting. The time when it was needed most, he didn't have anything. That's what I saw. He didn't have anything, and I don't know what was going through his mind or why none of his coaches couldn't try. There was nothing.
He lost all faith in the fact of his team. Think about it. He didn't think they could come back from this. And he said it, right? That's why he said White didn't even come in the game, because 2-0 down, what's the point? Right? And guess what? That's the way the team played. What's the point of even trying anymore? The way they scored that third goal, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous. You're down 2 goals, you're down a man. How in the world are you defending like that? Whatever they said at halftime, you know what? Let's just see this thing out. Let's try not to give up any too many more goals. All right, fellas. We'll try. We'll get ice cream when we get out of here. So don't worry about it. But just play okay for the rest of the half. That's what we look like. And then basically, third goal goes in, and guess what? Turns into like a funeral home. Everybody's just quiet, watching what's going on, just waiting for it to just to end. I mean, it was like a library for like 40 minutes.
BX Gunner said Holding killed the whole chemistry, and Cedric, by being careless, rubbed off on Elneny, and the rest of the team totally killed the confidence and mentality of the squad. Tony, we're going to have to pick a. Don't do it yet. We're going to have to pick a Tony Don Juan man in a match.
Is this a fast show? What's going on? We're like 25 minutes in and you're already ready to like.
No, I said we're going to have to do it, so I want you to think hard about who played. A 4 out of 10 would probably get it tonight. You know what I mean?
Can he pick the ref? I don't know.
I was gonna pick the ball boy, but guess
And
that's
just speaking of the ref, I actually don't think that the ref shouts against us were bad. I'm going to say it. I know in the heat of the moment, that was a penalty. It's a soft penalty.
It was a light penalty, but it was a penalty.
A soft penalty. And if it was the other way round, we wouldn't be jumping up, going, no, ref, that's not a penalty. Don't give Tottenham a penalty.
Well,
that was, we wouldn't be doing that. We would want it.
Sessegnon was surprised that the penalty was awarded.
Here's the thing, though. Do you not remember? I think it was a couple of seasons ago. There was a lot of talk about how, and it was Harry Kane that was involved in it. How he had a knack of when someone's jumping up for the ball and their feet are off the ground. That's when he barges them, and that was seen as that's seen as quite dangerous, right? Because now the player could have a very awkward landing, and that's basically what happened.
But you know what? The only reason
I'm not
fun
of Son. He's got the most punchable face there is. There's so much of it you can't miss. But he was off the ground and he was going to head it, and then he was barged. You got Chambers was coming in backwards because he was watching the ball. He's not to blame, but Cedric was trying to be sneaky.
Chambers was it out there. That was
he didn't get away with it. He didn't get away with it.
I don't know. Maybe I got different kinds of glasses, but the only reason why it looked as bad as it did is because the ball was behind him. And so he's going through, and then eventually he looks, and then the ball is behind him. So he's got to lean back. That's the only reason why he's leaning back like that, and he falls over. He doesn't fall over without balls ahead of him. The only reason why he falls back, it's not a contact. I don't think he gets touched. I keep checking the replay, and if he got touched, he got touched like 5 feet away from where he landed.
So if that was the other way around, you would be like, we got gifted that. You'd be like, that was.
We'd be lucky. If we got that penalty, we would think we were lucky.
Think about it. Saka gets the guy trips him when he's on the ground, and no card comes out. And I couldn't see from the camera view what was.
He got a yellow. He got a yellow for that.
But I don't know what's in front of him at that point. If it's just the goalkeeper, so I don't understand why they're even blowing the whistle.
Okay, I feel it was a penalty.
No, think about it. No, that play is. Who knows what happens there? When do you ever go, all right, the offensive player has an advantage. I will stop it now when he has an opportunity to maybe go in and take a shot.
And the other thing is, why even give the referee the opportunity? Why give the referee something to think about? Why even go there? We're not Manchester United. We don't get shouts. We always get the shouts against us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a main thing, just not putting yourself in that position.
The only thing that we can be thankful for that it wasn't Xhaka doing it instead of Cedric, because he would have probably been taken out into the town square and beheaded.
Well, he should have got a yellow early in the game. For some reason, he was untouchable until late in the game when it didn't matter.
Can you guys tell me about something? On the footage that I had here in Canada, it was quite late on in the game, and Xhaka got a book for something. But the way that it looked on our broadcast, Ramsdale was going to take a kick out, a place kick, and then just as he was going to take the place kick, the ref blew up, so he couldn't take it. And I thought, what is he doing him for time wasting? And then the commentator goes, Xhaka's been booked, and the camera went on Xhaka. He was just standing there. He got booked. They didn't show what he got booked for. They didn't say what he got booked for. And then Ramsdale was allowed to kick the ball out. And I'm like, so what? They're not going to show us? So did I miss something? What did I miss there?
The stats it was an argument.
Maybe.
So he was basically probably yapping at the official for something. When the game's over, what are you talking about at this point? Xhaka should have got a yellow earlier in the game when I think he grabs Dusan right on the touch on the goal line, and they call nothing. And you're like, that's not That's not a yellow. I don't know what's a yellow now because
The ref didn't really recognize it as Xhaka. He thought it was someone else. If it was Xhaka, again, taken out into the town square,
but it was a guy in a red
beheaded,
shirt. He had a red shirt
guillotine.
on. I mean, come on. I mean, so he was the official was definitely inconsistent in the sense that if he's going to be consistent all around, that should have been a yellow, even though I didn't want it at the
Okay,
time.
let me ask a question this way: does anyone disagree that we are our own worst enemies? Because I just think that we really are sometimes our own worst enemies, and we just don't fucking make it easy for ourselves at all.
In terms of the way we came out to play, Stan?
I mean, what are you doing? I mean, what is Cedric doing? What is
Which part?
Holding doing?
It was all over.
Holding took the bait.
No,
think about it. Holding took the bait. What you said is true. We knew how they were going to play. He fell in the trap, and that's what you get. He knew and then he think about it. We lost.
It's lucky it was Holding because the ref kept warning him, right? If it was Xhaka, he wouldn't have warned him. He would have just said no. He was told several times, man, cut it out. And then he booked him and says, "Look, I've got to book you now. Cut it out." What does he do?
And and his manager standing there watching him get basically manhandled by Son and not doing anything about it. Think about it. Your manager's sitting there watching you go through that, and he's got no answer. He's not talking to you. Yeah. He's not like going, somebody needs to go over and talk to Holding and say, cut it out. Or
do we know that wasn't done?
Adjustment?
I mean, you'd think
we don't know for
got
sure.
The message,
how many times did he grab people?
Didn't seem like it, Stan,
No, it didn't. And it didn't. I'm just being devil's advocate.
It seemed like the players were out there to play, and I want to sort of talk about what you think the approach was. I want to get into that in a little second as well. Big Skinner said, we've been given 3 strikes and we've blown 1 out of 2 already. 1 more, and it's current this disastrous calamity right now.
Do you know what pisses me off as well about this whole situation? I look back at a few games in the season. I look at the Everton game, for example. Yeah. I look at Brighton. I look at Southampton. There's just 3. I could even throw Brentford in there. Just 2 wins.
We drew to Burnley.
Just 2 wins. Yeah.
Right?
Just 2 wins.
We drew to Burnley.
But just 2. But I'm saying is just
1 more
2
time.
Wins. Right?
we drew.
We have 6 more points,
Burnley.
right?
Yeah.
We don't give a fuck.
We're in charge of our own destiny. Begging. You're right, Sam.
Exactly. They've gone begging big time. Really, 2 wins. There'd be no noise.
Here's the thing. As Tony knows, we drew 7 games last season.
2 wins.
We drew 7 games last season. We lost 13. Well, now we've lost 12. Okay? What we've essentially only done this season is turned 4 or 5 of those draws into wins. It's given us 6, 7, 8 more points this season. That's all we've done, Tony. All season.
Maybe I kind of wish more of L's were W's.
Last season.
Draws. So I wish more of L's were draws, but like you said, that's pretty much the only thing that's changed.
Yeah, we lost 13 games last season. We lost 12 this season. Pretty close to the loss count. The draw.
What's bad? We've lost 5 out of the last 10 during the most critical part of the season.
Most critical part of the season. And yet, with all of that said, we have 1 more chance. Or is it 2 more chances?
No, we have
2 more.
Well, we're depending on the other team to lose. I mean,
not yet. Not yet.
But you're saying we have 2 chances. No, we win our next 2 games. We're done. I mean, that's our chance right there. Everything after that is just we're just hoping somebody else fails.
Yeah,
we can't be helping it. That's like basically failing up.
As BX Gunner says, Arsenal always take the treacherous route. And Gary, I said to you 3 or 4 weeks ago, I take no joy in being right about this thing, but top 4 usually is decided on the last day. I wanted it done today.
It's not decided on the last day if you don't want it to. We had a chance to do it today, and we came out not prepared to win that game at all.
Yeah.
So we gave it away. We didn't even give ourselves a chance to win this thing. Not at all.
Lots of games in the last 10 we could have had this all sealed up.
Did not have the belief that we could get something out of this game because we didn't play like it.
Yeah.
You know, when we needed people to stand up, nobody did. When we need, I mean, they gave us opportunities to score. We didn't. I mean, what was Erdegaard's shot? What was that?
Same.
I mean, it's like
Yeah, two of them.
they're just like
One in each half.
you're clinical with your free kicks, and you get those opportunities, and they're right straight at the goalkeeper, and you have time and space to put him in a corner. I mean, come on. I mean, he's got to do better than that. I know he can do better than that.
That's the thing, Gary. We know that this team can do better than this. Tony will tell you we've conceded more goals. We've scored one more goal so far.
I don't care how many goals we look where we are on the table.
Yeah.
I mean, that means absolutely
Fair-
nothing, really.
fair
If the
point.
goals meant something in terms of how many we're giving up, then we wouldn't be still fighting. We wouldn't still be an opportunity. We wouldn't be in fourth place if they really mattered.
And that's what I'm saying here. Now it's about what we do going into Newcastle and at home to Everton. But do we want to talk about the penalty a little bit more or leave it there? We kind of said enough on the penalty, right, Stan?
Oh no, going by what the TV announcers were, I think it is
I didn't even move my lips there. Did you see that?
really much of a. They didn't have a clue what happened at first. They thought it was a handball.
Yeah.
They didn't know who the foul was on. They only thought it was on holding.
Listen, usually you know when the penalty's conceded, and then you see the referee point to the spot. This time around, we saw the referee point to the penalty spot, and we're all kind of perplexed, right? That was me.
Yeah, but he was like pointing to his hand like as a handball at first.
You see, that's when you want John Moss as the referee because he's so fat. He would have been up there to have seen any of that. He would have still been jogging up. Teddy was on the spot when he was Johnny on the spot.
It was so.
I don't know how he's seen it when the cameras didn't really even pick it up. So
Training, Tony. They learn that in referee school academy, the referee academy.
seeing third players.
We have one last chance now to seal it, and now I'm nervous. And I tweeted a little bit earlier. I was pretty calm about this. We had a 4-point gap. I was pretty calm about it. I know you were breaking it through the week, Stan.
Say again. So
you were breaking it through the week a little bit.
Yeah, I was. Right? I was really nervous coming into this game, man. I mean, I had an upset stomach for a couple of days, man. I was literally like camping out in a toilet yesterday evening, in for parts of it. Must have been like nerves, but you asked me earlier on about Newcastle and where we go from here. And this is where their manager now really earns his money, because what he has to do now, he has to keep everybody focused on what the job is at hand. There's still a job to do. They can't be licking their wounds. They have to be immediately. It's done now, and he said that in his press conference. He kept saying, "That's done. That's past. We look into the future." I hope he is saying that to the players immediately. There's no time for dwelling. They can dwell and pick the bones out of it at the end of the season. But right now, there's Newcastle that has to be done. And again, that's pains me, man, because that's my old granddaddy's team, great granddaddy's team. But sorry, Newcastle, man, we have to put you to the sword. There's a big, there's a lot at stake here. So this is where the manager now really, we're going to see whether he's earned that contract. And don't get me wrong, and it's a question I'd like to ask you guys at some point. I know it's only one game, but I'm still happy that he signed a new contract. I'm happy that we're still in the Europa League and that we've got higher than 8th. However, I'm not saying that the sweet taste of the Champions League isn't just on my lips, and I want that. I do want that. But is there anybody here, even in the chat box, that is like, this manager's shit. Get him out. Tony's got his hand straight up. Look at that. Didn't even finish the sentence. Yeah.
It's like, who won seconds? He's first hand up. First hand up, yeah. I'm not there yet, Stan, but I did say earlier, all we've done is turned a bunch of draws into some wins this season. Now,
Sorry, I didn't hear that. You cut out a bit. Something about your underpants. You said something about your drawers.
a bunch of drawers. We turned a bunch of drawers into winners.
I thought you were talking about your hosiery.
Yeah, well, we're there. We've been in the top four since middle of December, and we're still there, despite
Like a
this
bad smell. You just can't get rid of
depressing.
us.
Yeah, despite this depressing life, for the most part, we've been fourth place, Gary, for most of this year.
Yeah, I just think it's premature to give him a contract in the middle of the season, in the middle of a run, when you've got some big things to do. I mean, I think I heard, is it Pep say, or Klopp, one of them, Pep, I think it was like, I don't want to talk about it right now. I got some things I need to get done first before I talk about a contract. And Arteta cannot be managing and processing a new contract while he's in the top four run. Right. I mean, just think about it. If this was, a new coach going, if he can't be doing it, he can barely get the team ready to go when he has a 6 days to get them prepared for a game. So now you're going to take out a day or whatever to talk about a contract for something you haven't even done yet. Right. Finish off this season and get it done. I mean, come on. You are in the driver's seat to get a top four position. You don't really have the time to be worrying about a new contract. I mean, come on. They don't give a player his contract before the season's out. Why a manager? It means nothing.
Maybe that's the ownership's fault. Maybe it was, he sat in his office one day and the phone rings and they say, I don't think Mikel Arteta got on the phone and organised it.
He accepted it, though.
What's he supposed to do? Say
no. Say I got it. Let me finish my job. Can I get my job? Think about it. We talk about this all the time. He has ambitions, right? He wants to be a good manager and all of this. He's in the middle of a race trying to get the job done, and they're trying to distract him from that when he's got a job to do. Come on.
It's not a distraction.
It is a distraction because he's not thinking about the game. Comes out and guess what? Comes out and look how we played.
You just sign your. I don't know.
I get what both of you saying.
It is a distraction. He's a young manager. The last thing you should be worrying about is contracts in the middle of a run going into trying to get a top four. You make it sound like he's been doing this for years.
He doesn't have to worry about it. But they're easing the worry by saying you ain't got to worry about it.
They basically set him up to fail, and guess what? He did, right? Let the man work, man. He's doing his job. Let him get it. Tell him, you're going to get your contract. It's signed.
All I'm going to say,
he knew in at least February that he's getting a new contract.
To me, right, and said, in the middle of my sales cycle, so I'm going to give you a contract and a pay rise. I'm not going to turn around and say, listen, I just need to get to the end of the quarter, and then I'd say, yeah, man, all right, where do I sign? It's just,
but then what happens when all your deals fall through at the end of the quarter?
That's his fault, man. There for him.
You look stupid because you don't.
I'm
get
laughing
your
all the way
bonus
at the bank.
now,
Yeah,
right?
I'm ironclad, mate. I signed.
But you know what? They can fire you. They can still fire you.
Yeah,
They're not firing.
I'll take him to the Citizens Advice Bureau.
He loses his next two games. You thinking it's a good idea to go and do that? Come on. That's a really nice way to end the season.
I'll turn up with a tractor with a muck spreader in the back and spray the building.
No, you're just being silly, man.
I don't think it mattered. He knew he was getting a new contract.
Gary, I would do that. Trust me.
He knew he was getting it in February or March. I don't think it changed.
I can't drive a tractor. I'd probably pay someone to drive the
we
tractor.
Can't be talking about being ambitious and having and trying to get things done and then do this. It looks bad.
Gary, he's not the first manager that has signed the contract mid-season.
An extension when you're like 2 years into your career?
He's not the first manager to sign a contract mid-season.
It's 2 years into your career.
I think it's
you guys are making it sound like he's a seasoned veteran doing this. No, come on.
It's signing a contract.
The intention was supposed to be.
All I can say is,
it was.
Bob just signed his a few weeks before that.
So it was also the manager of the ladies' team, and I think it was supposed to show.
Yes, Ray.
It was supposed to be a show of solidarity. This is the ownership. We believe in where we're going for the future, and this is intended to be a bit.
You know what did his team do?
Now and again, sometimes
what did his team do after that? They went out. They won 3-0. Now their top player is contemplating staying for an extra year to see what.
Could we give them both a yellow card, Ray?
Right. That's what the women's coach did.
Gary,
all right.
Maybe Eddie will contemplate staying as well. Who knows?
I don't know. Stop it. I mean, now you just want to piss me off even more. Come on.
Gary,
No.
Gary,
No.
it's okay because
No.
other managers
Eddie is like
sign
Eddie's
contracts.
at the bottom of the list of priorities of
We all-
what we need to get
we all-
done this summer. Not nowhere at the top. Not even.
We all talk about getting the job done early when it comes to recruitment. We know now that we are in the Europa League, so we can start putting feelers out. So what's Mikel Arteta supposed to do now? Ring up, speak to a player and say, listen, you want to come over here, blah, blah, blah. And the player's like, well, are you going to be there? And he's like, well, I don't know. I haven't signed any contract yet. So I don't know what's happening. It might be. It might be
You
it.
make it
It might
sound
be
like that's
someone
what's
else.
happening.
It might be Sam
start-
Allardyce. Sam's a good bloke, though. So
When has Arsenal started anything before the season's ended? Come on, stop it.
All right, Tony.
We've never done
Tony,
it. It's not
Wozniak.
happening.
All right.
it sounds like
Tony,
it sounds
Tony.
like the Gabriel talks have really
No, before
accelerated.
the season has ended, when have we gone out and done it?
Wozniak.
No, that was after the 8 January window
right.
started, right?
I'm going to
That's
let
when
Tony
that's
speak.
when it started to get serious.
Tony, it's okay for other managers to sign contracts mid-season, right?
Klopp did it 2 weeks before our tennis, so
Right.
yeah.
Listen, it's a distraction, but it doesn't have to be a big distraction.
It
Okay?
was a
I don't like
distraction
it,
for
but-
a young manager. Come on.
I think flying to the America.
They offered it to him in February or March, Gary.
And that's
So
what-
what does it change if he signs it or
Remember
not?
when he flew out?
You look
there?
silly
I thought that
doing
was
it,
a
right?
distraction.
Do-
Flying
what
out.
a
They're
great
not
job.
gonna pull it
He
away.
signed it. He signed it out there when it was all done. Then when he went out there
Anyway,
to watch a hockey
he's-
game or whatever it was.
he has got to justify this now. You're right, Gary. He's got to justify this.
No, but you
Now,
just
what-
said you're trying to shut me down, and
He has
now all of a
justified
sudden
it.
you want to believe me? Come on, dude. It's not. He has
Trying
things
to
to
calm
do.
you
He
down.
can't do. He can't do multiple things at once. Come on. He can barely
Trying to
get his team ready for one
if I
game.
could
Much
find
less.
the words to calm you down.
Gary, grab you some beers. Drop your coconut water.
Can Arteta
there you go.
Can Arteta walk and chew gum? Find out
No.
next week.
He'll cough. He'll choke on it and then fall to the ground. And luckily, it'll
He's not
dislodge
going to be
it,
there to
and
give him a Heimlich maneuver.
Listen, giving a manager a contract mid-season for some, it's not a good look.
It's not mid-season, is it? It's almost finished.
Well, yeah, it's in the middle of the season. Come on now, let's not split hairs.
Hey, there's 5 weeks left,
Tony.
Gary. There's
Tony.
not the middle of the season. It's at the
Tony,
end.
Harry Kane slots the penalty away. We're 1-0 down, and then Rob Holding gets sent off.
Yep, like I said, to me that was his third yellow offense. He only got 2 of them. People can bitch and moan, say the ref was bad, but he was putting himself in those positions. Especially the one where he rolled up in a ball with Son and almost got an elbowed him there, but he didn't. But he was wanting to fight with him there. That should have been, to me, that was the clearest yellow out of all of them, besides the elbow to the face.
And Tony, yet again, Arsenal players are not able to, let's say, accentuate what's happening to them in that situation. Not clever enough.
Yeah, we never do it. We're not good at the dark arts. There's only 1 or 2 players that halfway decent at it, but it definitely needs to be taught to them. I think it can be taught. I don't think it's something that necessarily comes with instinct. Just you feel the push, fall down, make a referee decide. It's usually they'll go in your favor. Do those dirty things that gets other players in trouble and keep yourself out of.
And Gary, we're down a man. It's 11 versus 10. Concede a goal pretty quickly afterwards, 37 minutes.
Yeah, well, we needed to do something defensively to stop it, and it looked like we were going to do that, right? It looked like White was going to come on, which sounds, you're like, okay, cool. White's going to come on, right? He's on the bench, so that means he's going to play, right? White is on the bench, which means he can play, right? That's usually how it works.
One more time.
You put a player on the bench, meaning he can play football today.
Yeah.
Right? That's why
None
you do
of us
it.
would disagree with that, I believe.
But we do agree that having Charlie Patino on the bench means he ain't playing today.
Gary,
Just fill the
hang on,
spot.
Gary, I forgot. Where was White? Where was
If
he?
you're on the bench, you play. That's what it means. And he looked like he was going to come on, which to me means that for a fraction of a second, Arteta was like, all right, White, come on. And then he thought about it, I guess, which, he second guessed himself and said, no, you know what? We're down 2-0. This game's over. This is the 37th minute of the game. when they scored the second. So 5 minutes after Holding is sent off, Arteta's basically said, "Macho, game over. Let's not even try." Mentally, he's already shut it down.
But now that Gabriel's gone off with something or other, right? What if White had come on and he got banjaxed as well?
What if White comes on and we get a draw, right? What if White comes on and we get the 3 goals? What if? Right? I mean, there's all these. We've scored a man down before, right?
Gary, are you salty?
Oh, man,
I kind of. He basically said,
"I don't think you even did drugs, Gary." Jesus.
Like I said, as we basically perfect storm. Everything we did was just basically poor, bad. Didn't like it.
This is not good. This is that team. This is us losing to that team 3-0.
Yeah.
Not getting any stuff really. No desire, no commitment, no. The passing was horrible. We could not find a midfielder.
We lost the ball 100 times. 100 times we just kicked it away.
Where was the leadership? There was no leadership, man. Where was the guy saying, "Okay, calm it down," or "Come on, there's none of that." The people that were supposed to be the mature ones on there, they were shrinking violets, weren't they? Holding, he got sent off. That was him done. That's the one gone. Yeah. Xhaka was quite anonymous. He was quite anonymous until he got his book in. Who else is on there who's supposed to be a mature leader in there? El Neni didn't have a bad game. I thought El Neni was one of our better players. He moved the ball forward when he could.
But he does his job, like you said. I mean, he's not gonna, talk to the players.
He didn't give up the ghost, though, did he? Do you know what I mean? Like some of the others, he didn't go, "Yeah, fucking hell." He still tried to do his little bit. But we need these guys, these young kids. They need the leadership, and that's why when we delve into that market in the summer, if you're saying to me you can have one of Tielemans or Neves, I like them both, but Neves wins hands down because he's got that experience. We're bringing Tielemans. It's another one now we're adding to the creche. Do you know what I mean? Crashville, man. Kindergarten. We need experience, and we need to make sure that it's that sort of experience that can be vocal in certain situations, that can go over to a Rob Holding and say, "Sort it out, mate. What are you doing? You're going to walk soon, and we can't have that." Do you know what I mean? You're going to blow my 500,000 bags. What are you doing? You need to buy another Lamborghini. You can't blow my money out like that. You have to have words, and no one's doing it.
And then he almost gave up a goal he cracked when the mentality dipped. So we couldn't find our way out of defense. We were getting pressed, and we could not beat the press at all.
Yeah, it's going to say spending money on Bellingham, but we're just adding to the crash. As good as he is, if you're going to bring in a Bellingham and add some experience, then I get that. But
we had all the youth. We don't need more youth. We need somebody who can come in and play right off the bat. Like we need somebody. Like I said, we need a Jota. We need a Gomes. We need a Dusan that we just played against today.
Frank
they can come in. They are starters on their team today. And
Gabriel.
Guess what? Gabriel,
Sterling.
Jesus, either one of those two. Pick, and you know what? If that's
much more experience than Sterling.
Yeah, if any of that stuff is true about Jesus and Sterling, it should have been seen and done. If they want
but maybe they were holding it. Maybe they were holding out to find out if Mikel Arteta was going to be the manager. Hence the contract. I'm joking, Gary. Don't explode.
If we can seal the deal and get top 4, these players want to play Champions League. The more you're reaching for the best talent in Europe and in the world, the more they want to wait.
That's a good point, Ray, as well. That 4th spot is also, there are some players. There is a difference between the Europa League and the Champions League, right? There's no guarantee.
Why isn't that for the manager as well? Right? Maybe he gets more money if he gets Champions League for his squad. Right?
He will.
Yeah, no, he won't. He's already signed a contract. Nothing's changing for him.
No, bonuses, right? There's bonuses, right? The players there'll be a bonus if he gets a
Champions League. Champions League football when he signed a contract, he's getting more money. No doubt about it.
Man City are lucky that Leeds decided not to trigger Haaland's release clause. Tony, about 10 minutes before halftime, we sort of woke up a little bit. Had a couple of opportunities.
Yeah, it was really about the.
Looked like we wanted to do something.
That was kind of our last gasp effort. We were trying. We were coming close, but still not converting.
Eddie Nketiah has a shot, tipped over the bar. We get a corner. We waste the corner, Gary. There's just nothing good.
Par for the course. I mean, everything we did was just just not work. I mean, the goalkeeper caught or easily stopped all of our shots that we put on goal. I mean, it wasn't any one of those shots on goal where you were like, all right, damn it, the goalkeeper did a really good job there. No, he just caught him. Right?
Yeah,
they bounced to him.
The best chance was Saka in the second half. That was blocked by the defender's foot.
The best one was Erdegaard when he dribbled it to the goalkeeper. I mean, he picks a corner, he scores, kicks it straight to the goalkeeper, and it bounced 2 or 3 times before it even got there. And he's kicking from just inside or just outside the line, the 18. So, I mean, he should be able to put that thing on a line through the back of the net, So I kind of felt like that was a really good opportunity. He had 2 of those, and 2 times he just shot it right at the goalkeeper, straight at the goalkeeper. Yeah. Like he's got a whole goal in front of him, and he still just kicked it straight. I mean, I don't know where. I mean, I don't think they did that. When they were taking shots, they went straight at the goalkeeper.
Mr. Tom said, Thursday night league matches should be banned. Yeah.
That's what somebody was saying, right? They had all the time in the world to plan this game. All the time in the world. It should have been done. Could have been done a month ago, and they didn't. They pushed it out, waiting, and that's the other. That's the conspiracy theorists, right? Is they you know what? This game could mean something, so let's save it till the end, right? You know?
Definitely. But I was going to go to Tony and say, we remember back in January, Tony, Son was injured when we were supposed to have this game played.
Yep. That's why I was one of the only ones that wanted us to play it. I think it would have been better for us if we played it then.
Who did we have available?
We were in a bad situation too.
Why? Because Zaka got a red card and we didn't prepare for players getting gone at AFCON?
I don't think we had a.
We had everybody except for Zaka that we normally had.
I thought Partey was away.
Yep, AFCON.
Or was he?
He was back. He was back.
Talking about conspiracy theories. I think the Illuminati are behind it, and they also know what's buried on Oak Island as well. They know what's there. Sorry, while I was away, have I missed anyone slagging off Antonio Conte yet, or is that coming?
No. Okay. We got to get there. Okay. Criticizing.
All right, you guys pause the show. I'll be right back. All right.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just wait for you.
Yeah, I'll be right back.
Everybody freeze.
Shh, he said pause. Don't speak. Let's wait for Gary.
That's my impersonation of pausing. Play some music.
Some lift music. He's like, pause everything. I'll be back.
Can we talk about the contract again? No, we shouldn't.
Yeah. I'm glad he got a contract. Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, I'm
really glad Antonio Conte is not our manager. I don't like him. I don't like Antonio Conte.
We'll talk about Antonio in a second, right?
Okay.
Before we go into the second half, because the halftime team talk, I believe, was a lot different to the starting team talk when you're sending the team out to play in the first minute. I think Arteta had to rip up whatever plays he had in his mind. He had to rip them up and come up with a different speech at halftime. What do you think the approach was at the start of the game, though, Tony? Do you think we played to contain Tottenham? That's what I think.
If we play to contain them, why don't we play Tomiyasu against Son? And if you didn't notice, I was paused the whole time until you asked me the question. I didn't move.
Yes.
I paused for Gary.
I saw that. We did pause through there.
We did for quite some time as well. But it's too much dead air.
I did the entire time.
People were leaving.
It's the only entertainment.
Tony was going to do a card trick, but people started leaving. So.
Oh yeah, his card tricks aren't that good.
No.
Gary, what do you think our mindset was going into the game at the start of the game?
Where he pulled one out from was quite eye-opening.
I see that, and that's why I'm saying, it's just not good. It's not good at all. No, Tony, don't do that. You don't. You see it one time, you're like, no, my eyes burn now. Oh.
He's like, was that your card? I'm like, yeah, it was. I'm not touching it now, though.
In your mind, you say that, but outside, like, hell no.
It didn't quite smell like that before, but here's my card.
You always say yes, Dan. You always say yes.
What was our mindset going into this game?
Yeah, how do you think we set out to approach this game? Because the second half, the team talk at halftime is a lot different. I'm pretty sure it was a lot different.
I think the team talk at halftime was exactly the way we started the game. So, terribly. I mean, I don't.
Listen, here's the thing. Going into this game, we know.
What do you say at halftime? We still got it. If we win both our games, it doesn't matter if we lose. Is that what he says?
You know what? I gave up 20 minutes ago, fellas. So let's just get it. Let's just get home without any injuries, please.
Then why didn't he take Saka off?
Don't know.
Took off Martinelli, didn't he?
Can't explain it. I cannot explain it, Tony. This was a perplexing game. This was probably our worst performance.
If you're going to start saving people, right? If you're looking ahead and saving people, then you take off. Give Saka some rest.
What manager?
Saka's played more games than.
Manager at 37 minutes says, we're done. You know what? This game's over. We're done. Okay. No, think about it. What team have you seen lose one of their core defenders and doesn't make a switch immediately? What?
And he almost always does too. He almost always does.
Every team I've seen, if they lose a defender by a red card or injury, they make an.
This is the second time he has it.
Thing, right? You look at the bench, right? You've got Lacazette on there on his way out. You've got Nicola Pepe on there on his way out. You've got Emil Smith-Rowe on there, good goal scorer, does well come off the bench. And then after that, you've got a load of kids, you've got a load of infants who are just basically keeping. That's just not sustainable. So I do think that in that situation, to be where we are. We're overachieving. We are overachieving. But
why did we get in that situation?
But for me, it's just today on its own. To them, that's what really pisses me off, man. We didn't get a chance to play them at football because of what happened with going down, man. We didn't get the opportunity to compete. That's what pisses me off. We never know.
Yeah, it always makes me mad. Those early cards.
Talking about how good they played at Tottenham, and you can see what Conte's doing. Yeah, but it was against a weakened side. It was against a weakened side, and we were weak going in anyway. And as Mikel Arteta in his post-match interview, when they were asking him certain things, he was saying, "I don't want to comment because if I comment, I'll be suspended for 6 months." Jesus, fucking hell, that's X-rated shit then, because usually it's a fine or a couple of weeks. 6 months? Jesus, what was he going to say?
A lot.
6 months he was going to get. I mean, Jesus wept. I'd rather hear it. I want to hear that shit.
That'd be a hell of a story.
Conte got 10 months for match fixing, so 6 months for just talking about something.
But
so we got an echo somewhere.
The best one, though, I know it's not me. The best one was.
Not me, it's
I can hear it in my headphones. The best one was Antonio Conte was post-match.
Mute your screen.
Tony.
Did anyone see his post-match? Conte's?
No, I didn't see
Not
it.
me.
He was basically during his post-match. He was basically saying about how in the 6 months, so the echo's gone now. In the 6 months since he's been a manager and observing Mikel
It's
Arteta.
not me. It's Ray.
Oh, Ray, you
I got
have it on?
headphones in. I got headphones in.
He said that he complains a lot. He complains a lot. He doesn't know if it does any good. He seems to complain a lot. And I thought to myself,
Doesn't
for
he
someone
complain a lot?
I thought to myself, that's fucking rich. You got yellow cards. What the fuck are you
All
talking about?
managers.
You got booked.
Yeah.
You're the
He
manager.
was
and you got
whining. He was whining in the first 10 minutes of the game.
Exactly. He's complaining about the manager. I'm like, it's just.
Well, you know what? Maybe
He's such a
because
toilet,
the
that
team
man.
doesn't respond to it. Maybe that's what he meant. Because when he whines and he whinges and all of that, the team doesn't respond to it. So he's doing it all wrong. So you might as well not do it, right? That's maybe what he means. Because his team, after all of that, think about it. After the yellow card and all of that, the team started to wake up a little bit, and that's when they went on their run. And 20 minutes later, we're down 3 goals. 30 minutes later, we're down 3 goals.
So listen, what was our approach starting the game? Because Tottenham, we don't know, right?
You've heard of a phrase called
We can
"flying
just-
by the seat of one's pants."
I don't think we had a plan.
That was a plan.
really legit plan.
When you play Tottenham, Stan,
Yeah.
you worry about the transition. They clog up midfield and then they spring forward on you
But
really quickly.
This is how I thought we should have gone into the game, because someone was asking me about it, and I gave it a bit of thought. And I thought, what I would like to have seen us done is have that formation that I've seen us do, where when we're out of possession, we're sort of like in a back five, and then when we're in possession, we kind of transition into a back four. I've seen us do that. Cut out the passing lanes to people like Son, which is probably what Rob Holden was trying to do, but to the extreme. And maybe try and impress a lower block instead of trying to press high in case we let somebody in round the back, and be a little bit gritty about it. And if it means it's a draw because we've got a cushion anyway, But that's how I would have. It sounds a little bit simple, but that's my thoughts of how I would have tried to have gone into that. But all of that jiggery pokery of the back line when it's as weak as it is. I mean, if Tomiyasu's back, great. We're like, ooh, one of our best defenders is back. Let's play him out of position. I mean, you might as well just keep him on the shelf then. I mean, you've got one problem. So to fix that problem, you make it even worse. It's like saying, oh, there's holes in the boat. We need wood. Let's pull up more wood from the fucking bow of the boat. You're making more holes, you nutter.
Dan, have you been watching Arsenal? This is what we do. We punish ourselves by the way that we play and the way that we position people on the pitch. We pay for it. We go, well, Dan.
Not sure how I got flipped on my side.
Let's find it. Let's do this. Let's try it a different way, right? How comes it's always the left back?
Did you
put
flip
somebody
me
in the left back, and guess what happens?
This Kieran Tierney.
It's always the left back because
Let's talk about left back. Right, I'm a big Kieran Tierney fan. I've got Scottish blood in me. I love it that we got a jock in the team. Love it. And as much as I love Kieran Tierney and the shouts for him to be a captain, we're missing him. And we need to be able to rely on players for the majority of this season, especially if you've got aims of being in 4 competitions.
Supposedly, we're looking at a 19-year-old Scottish player. So
from Bologna, he plays with both feet. But I mean, I'm worried about this Kieran Tierney situation that we aren't going to be able to rely on him, because when he's with us, he's what you want.
I don't have the stats in front of me. I'm willing to guess that he's probably had less first team appearances this season than he did last season.
Let's check that out.
To be real close.
Take a look.
I think it was something like
how many seasons has he been with us now? Has he completed a full season?
Yeah, he's completed. Let's see. I'll tell you in a second here.
It feels that
he's been with us for 3 seasons now. He played 15 in his first one because he was injured. Remember, when he came in the first time I saw him, I said, "Yep, like him, he stays." Next season, 27 games he played in the league. This season, 22. So He's not.
Miss
Can't
more
give us
games.
30. Can't give us 30 games.
No. And that's half a season, 22, pretty much, right?
And that's not,
Yeah.
there's no cups in
A
there.
little bit
You know,
over.
No,
we've been out
that's
of
all
cups.
Premier League. That's Premier
It's
League.
all league.
Yeah, we've been out of
league
cups. I'm
games.
saying we've not had a lot of cup games, so he's not. When you put that into play, that's more games that you expect from the player, right? Is he up to that? As much as I love him, there's a touch of the Rizikis about him, right? For me,
Yeah.
that's one way of putting
Yeah.
it, and it worries me because you look at Nuno Tavares, and as much as there are some good things that he can do,
It's raw.
you know, some assists
Well,
and that defensively.
Here's something else. So in the I guess I would say 4 years that he played for Celtic, right? He only hit the 30 game played mark once.
How many seasons, Gary?
4
the last 4 before he came.
for
So he's
Celtic.
only hit 30 once, and that was in everything else was 21, 23, 24.
Okay,
And
so
There's a
Well,
lot of
Was
muscle
that because of
injuries.
injuries or being left out, or
It's all
is it
muscle
injuries?
injuries, pretty much.
yeah, injuries because he was captain of Celtic for quite a part of that.
He stood in for Scott Brown when Brown was out. He would take over, right? Deputise.
Well,
So
think
what-
about it. He was
Sorry, for
18.
Scott
He
Brown.
was 18 and 19 years old, and he
Scott
gave
Brown.
23 and 24 games. And Saka is what? Saka right now
Younger
is
than
what?
10,
He's
isn't he?
19, and he's played in 30
He
games.
was-
He's the first one to play over 100 games under Arteta, so
Yeah.
that was
There you
about
go.
15 games ago.
So, is anybody
Right.
else a little bit worried about Tyranny? Because I am, because we know what he
Yeah.
can bring to us when he's in. When he's in, he's fantastic. But
If you can,
can't rely on
this
him.
is going on 6 or 7 seasons now that Gary's talking about. An average of let's say 25 games a season. You can
Yeah.
rely on him for 25.
No,
And then here's Saka, 17, 26 games played, 32, 18, 34 currently.
I mean, what's the
Way
point
too-
of working
way
away
too
from
many.
competition,
A lot
getting
too
to
many
like the
games.
cut and thrust of a semi-final, and then Kieran Tierney can't be there because he's out, and that's
Mm-hmm.
when when you get to the bits where you need someone, and like where we are now. I mean, we were in the cut and thrust of it. We lost the North London derby. Got 2 games to go, and Kieran Tierney, one of our better players, is nowhere to be seen.
So, Stan, with Barcelona interesting with him, would you be tempted to sell him?
I don't think they are interested in him.
They
There
I
would.
was
think they're selling it.
Right.
They're selling. Frankie De Jong's up for sale, apparently.
There'll be plenty of time to talk about transfers coming in, transfers coming out. But the left back situation is worrying to say the least.
It's not even left back. We need a replacement for Partey. Until he can show he's not going to get injured. It's his second season with us, second time he's been injured.
Yep.
I mean, it's a lot of money spent on him, but we don't have a good replacement
Decent
for him
cover,
either.
yeah. No
We
decent-
bought him
decent
injured, and we
cover.
bought Tierney injured. Both of them were injured when we bought him.
And surprised they continue to be injured.
Because
Wow.
even if you go out and you buy a really good backup who's almost fighting for that first place, they will get minutes because it seems like Partey will give up minutes because of his stability.
An experienced manager would just rotate them anyways, right?
Exactly.
Because that's what you do. You have
Yeah.
good players on the bench. You rotate them in and out so they stay fresh and ready to go.
And it's not going to be Lokonga. Go on, Tony. He
Mm-mm.
likes to be called Sambi.
I call him Sambi. That's what he said he wants to be called.
So you always
So
say.
I'm the one. It's me, not.
Ray and Stan
No.
refused to call him what he wants to be called.
No,
Yeah, I just like
really?
saying Lokonga because I like you in the background going, he likes to be called Sambi.
What about Benjamin?
You don't like it if I call you a name you don't like. What name don't you like, Stan?
Stanley.
Stanley. You
Uh,
like Stanley?
I don't mind
Stanley.
it. My missus says that when it's time to take the garbage out.
Oh, there you go.
Stanley, don't give me that back chat.
What was I going to say now? I got sidetracked. Yeah.
Arsenal were crap today. Arsenal were
Stand
crap today, and Arsenal were crap today.
You were talking about us not being prepared or being prepared or.
No, he said, "What was our goal today?" And just go
Yeah.
out there and go out there and burn some calories, fellas.
It should have
Just
been.
go out there and get a little sweat in, you know.
Really, it should have been about. And I know what my question is. I'm going to go to Tony with it next. It really should have been about go out there and play on the front foot. I don't believe we did that. I don't believe we were sent out to play in the front foot.
No, with only 8 shots on goal, we definitely
I
weren't.
think
Started out front footish, didn't we?
4 points. 4 points got us into this funk where we thought, hey, we'll take a draw here and we'll be just fine with a draw. Well, guess
I'd have
what?
fucking beat your hand off for a draw, man.
Doesn't work that way. Tony, my question was that I forgot momentarily a second ago is it unfair to blame the depth players that have come in for this performance? Holding, Elneny, Eddie Nketiah, Cedric. Because there was a few other players who were regular team players. Didn't play well at all tonight either.
Yeah, the whole team, there's a bunch of 3s and 4s and 5 performances. Just nobody was up to par. Of course, Holding, he needs to be played with somebody strong. That's the manager's fault for not putting Tomoris on that side.
Mm-hmm.
He should have been against Son. Should have been in his more natural position. Yes, Dan?
So I just figured it works for Tony, so...
Yeah, it works. It works for me.
It doesn't work for me. Gary just keeps fucking talking the whole time.
Why you
Just want to go to the toilet.
You want to interrupt me while I'm talking? No,
Harry thinks you want to go to the
Gary
toilet.
repeats
That's what it
everything
is.
3 times. Gary repeats everything 3 times.
I didn't repeat it. Maybe because you guys don't listen. You don't listen.
You sound like a broken record at this point. Fucking
Hold on,
Gary.
I forgot. Hold on, hang on. Gary, refresh my memory. Where was Rob White again?
If you're on the bench,
Where's Ben
you're
White?
playing.
If
If you're on the bench, you play. It's called football. Come on.
Yeah, if you're on the bench, you should be able to come into the game if needed. And I would think Ben White was needed, but Stan does make the point. We're gonna be like West Ham. We might not have recognized centre backs on Monday, but we'll get into that momentarily. Stan, is it fair to blame the depth players in the same? Is it fair to single them out for this performance?
I actually felt that Eddie, for example, there were lots of times where he was running the ball down as much as he could, trying to cut off to the goalkeeper, and he was busy. Didn't get very good service today. And then once you go down to 10 men, then it's curtains, isn't it? You're just holding on, isn't you? You're away from home at Tottenham with all their rabble singing and all that. You're just trying to hold on. But I did feel that we started pretty well, that we were assured, we looked good, and then it just kind of unravelled. And I think Gary's right. I think the managers thought, you know what, fuck it. Let's not start using all of these, what we can do. Let's look to the next game. And rightly or wrongly, I think that's maybe what he did do. And I never thought of it like that because I thought some of his substitutions and why aren't you trying to do? Why aren't you trying? But I think that he just resigned himself to it, and we'll see whether that's going to pay off.
Did the man not see City be up 2 goals in a semifinals to go to the finals of a Champions League with 1 minute left in regulation?
But as we just said, right, you look at our bench, what's he drawing from? It's bare, right? After
why is that bare though? Because he fucking sold everybody else.
Pepe and Emil Smith-Rowe, and only Emil Smith-Rowe is the one that we know is sticking around. There's a bunch of infants. That's where we are. It's a lack of variety. Yeah. Okay, what are you going to do? Switch out Eddie for Lacazette? He might nick a goal. It's
last season Arteta saying,
but maybe you're going to lose that running down that I mentioned that he was doing.
And let's not forget we're a man down. We're getting tired. Do you tire everybody? Do you tire your team out trying to chase?
Yeah, but don't you rest Saka first? No matter if you're.
Yeah.
Why did Pepe come on? I mean, why did Pepe not come on? It's a meaningless exercise. The second half, 43 minutes of the second half is meaningless because you're 3-0 down, 2 minutes into the second half. That's when you bring Pepe in. Like, okay, I'm going to save some legs
Pepe
here.
for Saka, that's a switch, isn't it, there?
Yeah, Pepe. But go narrow. Play Martinelli and Pepe up front if you're losing a man. Stretch them, but it didn't happen. Attack, says Bremner's ghost. Leeds didn't hold on. They beat us 1-0 with 10 men. And that was the warning for this match. Scary thought. But it holds true when you look at Leeds and look at this game in conjunction. One led into the other, not leads into the other, but there you go. One leads into the other, Tony. Second half, then Son scores that goal, and whatever is ringing in their ears, Tony, at halftime, it didn't.
Did he tell him to lay down? Is that what he told him?
Ramsdale's.
It's all right, lads. This one's over. We still got a point ahead of them. We went out. It doesn't matter. So let's just not do anything.
Now, obviously, I'm going to look for something here, but does Kane foul Gabriel in the lead up to this goal? Am I clutching at straws, Tony?
You're clenching at straws.
He was very physical with Gabriel.
That should have never even been part of the equation. There should have been a one-on-one Kane and Gabriel. That should never have happened. He should have been closed down. The fact that he's one-on-one with him with nobody around, that's just bad defense. I mean, come on. There's no situation where you go, all right, Kane is able to get a body on Gabriel, and there's nobody there to close him so he can he's able to make that turn easily, right? Nobody was coming to support Gabriel. He's going to lose. He's not at that level yet where he can take on one of the top scorers in the league one-on-one, which he just got manhandled, and that's what happens. We're young, right? Keep saying that we're young, right? You put Lukaku in that same situation, he's going to manhandle him, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, that's what you get. I mean, if that's any one of the big time strikers and they're one-on-one with a defender, they lose every time, right? No matter what level they're at. I mean, defensively, that was really poor. We needed to close them out. When do we not have somebody come in to close their best scorer, right?
Close the avenues off, yeah.
Right. You should not have been able to make that turn at all. There should have been somebody coming there to squeeze them out and say, get that ball out of here. We see that all the time. We can't play one-on-one against their two stars. Not going to happen. Not going to work.
Gabriel was on an island there, Stan, all alone, and Son was able to pick up the pieces.
See, everybody's talking about Harry Kane, right? And the records that he's making and this, that, and the other. But no one's talking about the elephant in the room. No one's talking about the 300 flies that died tonight because Harry Kane swallowed them. Doesn't get a mention. And those flies have families. Sunshine. There are children that ain't seen their families tonight. They ain't coming home because Harry Kane swallowed them.
There's a lot of poops out there without any flies on them now. Just sitting there, just hanging out, just smelling up the joint, and nobody's making a home.
Especially playing up a shit ball.
Flies lives matters. That's what I'm going to say. But sorry, your question was. Do I like Son? No, I fucking hate that guy. I can't stand him. I really, I don't like it. He's got such a punchable face.
He does, but and such a good footballer, he doesn't need to employ the crying antics toward the referee to try to influence referees.
Oh, but Sonny isn't like that. He is like that. He is like that. I've seen him be like that a lot of times. So stop saying that, please.
No. I'm saying that's the DNA that's the DNA of that squad, right? You go there, and the only way you got to fit in is if you abide by the rules.
But he can play though.
He's a good footballer, right? I mean, Kane and Son are really good footballers.
Little wriggly shit.
Yeah, they will take advantage of every situation you give them. And teams
he twists and turns like a twisty turny thing.
Stan has a thing for shits and flies tonight.
Like a slinky dog.
I mean, I think that's why teams that they're supposed to beat don't sometimes, is because they are disciplined, and it takes a lot of discipline to play them, right? Like a lot of these teams lower down the table, they actually play a lot more disciplined football than other places. Like we're in fourth place, and we were so undisciplined today in everything that we did. Everything we did as far as defense.
Would you say we were out of character, Gary, tonight?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Like I said, we've seen where this team will lean on each other and get everybody's head right. Right? We've seen it. Right? Gabriel makes a terrible pass against Wolves, and you've got Ramsdale there going, just screaming at him, going, get your head right. Let's go. Let's get back into this thing.
Yeah.
Right? You've got your subs coming on in that same game, coming in with an intent to get something out of this game, even though we looks like we're gonna lose, right, or lose points, and we don't. Today,
Yeah.
today, the manager already said, "I'm done." He's screaming at the officials for whatever reason, and he's going to get 6 months off. But he himself already said it. I was done. I'm looking to the next game already.
Hope somebody
He
asked you
told
for
the
the
players.
start
He
of the
told the
next
players,
pressure.
forget about this game. We've got the next
What
one
were
coming up.
exactly were you going to say? That you'd get suspended for 6 months?
It was
No.
probably something not complimentary to the gentry that are the officiating
That'd be a good story, though.
forces within the. I'm not the storyteller. Stan's the storyteller.
Dan, tell us the story of what he would have said.
It probably wouldn't have been for children's ears.
So go ahead, do it.
I mean,
Is your mom watching?
Yeah, probably. What's he going to say that's going to get him 6 months out? Personally, I thought it was a little bit petulant in his interview, a bit babyish. You know?
Yeah.
I thought it was a little bit babyish. A little bit,
He didn't want to be there. I kind of, to some degree, want to see
Who does?
that. I want to
Most
see.
managers
I want
don't wanna
to see.
be.
I want to see somebody. I want to see a little bit of that, but I don't. I need to see it in the right kind of, like you said. He did it wrong. It's like I don't curse because it doesn't sound right coming out of my mouth, right?
Go and try.
What
Come
he
on.
did.
Come on.
Go on. You don't know till you try. You might like it. You'd be like, fucking hell, this is fucking excellent.
It doesn't
What
even
the fuck
sound
have I
right.
not
Like
been
it
doing
doesn't
this
sound
for?
right in my ears when I hear it. I'm
Swearing
like,
every other
dude,
word
you did
now.
this all
Oi,
wrong.
oi, oi.
No, but like I said, he needs to that what he showed in that that press conference at the end of the game. I need to see some of that, but directed in the right way. Like especially when like today, his team was poor, and he didn't even say that. Right, his team was poor. He screwed up. His team screwed up. He didn't get the calls he expected to get out of this game. He could have said that. And everybody would have agreed with him that, you know what, I expected to get something out of this game. I didn't. Some of the stuff was taken away from me. Yeah, my
But
players
okay.
came out. The players came out today, and they let me down. I let my
You think he
team
didn't want
down
to
with
say
some
that
of the.
bit, Gary, about being
Yeah.
let down because he's trying to keep them all together for 2 more games? He's like,
Yeah.
I want to fucking, you know what I
You
mean?
know what? But
And
you
he's
know what?
fucking shit, and he's shit, and they're like, oh, fuck it up.
No, I mean you can't
Well,
come out in public and throw your players under the bus, right? You got. Maybe you can say that in the dressing room, but you don't say that.
Your
to
manager
media.
just came out and said, I gave up on this game with 40 minutes left in it.
What,
50 minutes left in
Did
this
you
game.
give up on it?
50 minutes left in this game. Your manager said, I'm done. I'm done with this game.
But did you
He
think
needs,
Gary,
you
you
looking at
didn't
it
everyone
the
get
on
same
board.
way?
Right?
this
He needs
game?
everyone on board. He needs all hands for the next 2 games.
Yeah.
After that, start cracking heads then.
2-0
Crack
down.
heads then.
2-0 down, one man down. Did you really think we were going to get something back, Gary? Maybe
You know
a
what?
draw.
That mindset is why teams, yeah. If you think that immediately, as soon as you think that way, guess what? Game's over. Game's done. Game's done. No team ever comes back from that. It's never happened, right?
You never know. Might get a sponsor.
So the percentages of coming back from 2-0 down to even get a draw.
You don't
pretty
even
low.
know. Maybe it's your turn.
Pretty
You
low.
don't know that if you don't even try.
But then you
Why
use
get out
up
there on
the
the pitch
energy.
and not try?
Gary, you're using up the energy for Monday.
Come on,
You
dude. You
need
win
that
this.
Monday
You play
energy
for 50
Monday.
minutes. You win it. Your season's done. You don't care about the next 2 games. Give me 50 minutes. Give me 2 goals. Maybe we have an opportunity to finish this thing off. Come on, dude. Don't waste a trip is a saying I say all the damn time. And why? Because you have an opportunity to get something out of this game. You didn't even
Don't
try.
waste the trip is fine.
Don't
but if
stop
you
him.
use up-
Don't stop him, Ray. This is golden.
If you
Come on,
use
Gary.
up all your gas, you don't have
Any given Sunday.
You don't have enough gas for the next trip. You've got 3 trips. You don't have 1
I
trip.
asked for 50 minutes. Give me 50 minutes. Come on.
Why not 90 minutes?
Well,
Tony.
we didn't get. We already screwed up the first 40. That's why I'm saying.
Can
50.
I say something else
Bring
before we
some
get to
sense
that?
to this, Tony.
Stan mentioned sponsorships earlier. Gary's sponsored by Morton Salt today. He's
Who?
very salty.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know Morton Salt?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't. Oh man.
You've lived here long enough, Gary. You've seen
We
Morton
threw
Salt.
Pepe under the bus. Well, explain. If he says he doesn't know, explain it to him.
He's being salty. And he knows what brand of Morton Salt. Come on. He's bought up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What's disappointing about this game is they had the mentality that they needed to win. Their backs were against the wall, and they went out and won the game. We could have done the same thing and won the game, but we didn't. We've got in the back of the mind of our players and our manager, we felt like we've got 2 more chances. Not saying it's right. That's the mentality that they employed. You know, it's not good, Gary.
What? Why leave? I don't know. What's the saying? Why?
Leave tomorrow's work.
Yeah.
Why not? Why
gotta-
leave to work today when you can? Or
Why
tomorrow's
leave it for
work
tomorrow when you can just do it today, kind of thing?
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah.
like I said, there's a game in front of you. Play the damn
and having
game.
loads in a bush
Yeah.
for some reason. Don't know why you want to go in a bush.
Bird in the hand. There you go. It's worth 2
Hang
in
out
the
bushes.
bush. Right? Something like that.
Yeah.
And with that, you know. All right. So Gary, give us some candidates for the Tony Don Juan man.
You know what? The player I think that actually did well, if we're going to call it well in this particular game, I think it was actually, I heard this a couple of times. I think it was Martinelli actually. So,
Fair enough.
I think, yeah, I would have. I don't know. You know what? Saka didn't do anything wrong, but I needed him to do a lot more than he did. You know what I mean? Erdegaard had a really poor game.
Yeah,
Xhaka and El Neni were quiet. Didn't give us anything. The back line.
I didn't think Odegaard had that bad of a game.
He was poor today. It was. You know what? Like I said, we lost a lot of balls. That's from that back line and midfield. I mean, just a lot of possession we gave up for no terrible passes, terrible passes to nobody, and most of the time it ended up at the feet of of that team. So I mean, remember Eddie's pass that went like 1 foot, set up the counterattack, on our side of. I mean, that's what we were doing for a long part of that game. So yeah, I'm going to give it to Martinelli. I think
Martinelli, and Tomiyasu were our best. Tony,
I like Tomiyasu, Odegaard, and Martinelli. I think Tomiyasu probably had the best game. Even though he wasn't.
I thought Martinelli had a good game. I thought El Neni had a good game. I also thought Gabriel had a good game as well.
Yeah, that's the one I mentioned.
Gabriel showing to me some leadership qualities. I'm beginning to see this young man grow a little bit. So there would be the candidates that I would probably put forward, but obviously this is the Don Juan man of the match, so I'll leave it to Shipwreck Tony down there to pick the winner.
I'm going to go with
Tony going with.
I want you to do 2 things for me, Tony. Give me the Don Juan man of the match and give me that man of the match ratings out of 10 because he was the best player on the field.
Gabriel, 6.5.
6.5. So our best player was a 6.5 today.
You go with Gabriel?
Yeah.
Okay. See?
Martinelli?
Oh.
Nope.
No.
Defender. Okay.
Mega legs.
All right. Martinelli, I thought was good. I thought he played well as well. And Erdegaard flitted in and out of the game a little bit, but those are the 2 or 3.
I mean, it's interesting that, Tomiyasu, Gabriel on the left side of the pitch. How many goals did they score from that side? Not many, or not in the first half. The threats were coming from the other side, which makes a lot of sense, right? You weaken one half, you weaken one half. The third goal, yeah, but that was just really poor defense all around. I mean, like I said, he shouldn't be going 1-on-1 with Kane. Just not a good way to play defense
Yeah.
there.
W-
But yeah,
Was I the only one that was thinking that when Davis got his booking for the shitbags, I thought to myself, well, that's definitely the play then. Now keep trying to get that ball
we
out
don't
to
do that
Saka.
because that would be too easy.
Well,
Why we
you
don't
know
want
what
to
I
put any
mean?
more pressure on him? He's got a yellow. We don't want him to get another one. He might get sent
Exactly.
out of the game.
You get
We're
that ball
too
to
nice.
Saka and you put them two now in a foot race again. It's only a matter of time. Perhaps Davis makes a mistake.
We
and
never do that.
I
It's the
know.
dumbest thing. And you
Just
put
little things like that, right? I thought to myself, well, that's got to be the play. Work it onto the right hand side now. And you know the way that sometimes we see Ramsdale taking those long kickouts and that, and what they're doing, they're playing it out from the back, like a bunch of jabronis.
yeah.
Okay, that's it. 3-0 defeat. Stan, you want to talk a little bit about Conte? I'm going to drop out for a
Yeah,
second.
he's a bit of a wanker, isn't he?
Be back in a
Jesus,
minute.
right,
Conte's comments.
that was just rounding
Conte's
up.
comments about Arteta. I think there's a little bit of
Conte.
mind games. So I'm just going to leave you with this. I think it's a little bit of mind games where he's a point behind and he's got to try and manufacture something to psych Arteta out.
I'm really glad that Antonio Conte is not our manager. He's very temperamental. He's very, very temperamental. Do you remember when they lost that game and he was talking about how he was almost talking about Tony? Put yourself on mute, man.
I know you just
He was
doing
talking
jumping jacks or something.
talking about how he wanted to like get out and everything. I'm so glad. He's so moody, and like you see him on the touchline. You won't get this one, Gary, but there are times when he looks like he's just like necked 3 Mitsubishis and coming from an all-nighter at Fantasia. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. He really annoys me, and then hearing him in the press conference as well, you know, talking about the complaining and that, and he really like entertained the press. Once the press heard him going down that way, they like that. They're like, oh, he's kind of having a digger at the other manager, and it's rather than just like shutting it down and moving on. He loved it. He kind of reveled in it for a little bit. Do you know what I mean? And I think he kind of suits them. And you know that when a really good job comes up, he's going to be out of there anyway. But I'm just really glad that I don't like that guy. I never liked him anyway. Managerial wise, he knows what he's doing, but I just don't like him.
Yeah,
He's like Jose Mourinho, right? Good pedigree, great CV, but I wouldn't want him to be the Arsenal manager. Why? I personally just don't like him. And I'm a bit like that with Conte. So I don't hate Mikel Arteta as much as Conte. So I'd rather stick with the devil that I know.
Well, you know what? It's to me, it's a matter of he took on the identity of that team, right? He basically said, here are all the things, here are all the positives, in our case, the negatives that those players present on the pitch. And he said, you know what, let's continue that because it's working and I can figure out a way to get this thing done. And that's to me what veteran managers will do. They look at the strengths of their team and say, well, you know what, this guy is really good at just falling down on the ground. So guess what? Let's get really good at that. Oh, this guy really likes to needle the opponents that he's playing against. Let's do that. You know what I mean? Like,
he doesn't come across as the sort of guy that, like, okay, the going's getting tough now. Things aren't going our way. We need to galvanise. He don't come across like that. When everything's going sweet as a nut, he'll ride it and say what you want, and he'll take all the plaudits, and he'll like pump his fist and gurn his face off like he's just come in and he's on a sofa on a Sunday afternoon watching Bullseye off his nut. He'll do all that. But when it's all going like bad, he wants out. And I don't trust him. You know what I mean? He don't come across as a trusting kind of a person, but...
Well, think about that. You said all of that stuff, right?
I just wanted to slag off Conte.
No, think about it. If Arteta came in and basically said, "I'm be happy to be away from this place" or something to that degree, would his team then come back and be able to come out and play the way like his team played today, playing their style of football? You know what I mean? So whatever he's doing, as much as we don't like it, he's got something out of his team today.
Like it.
You know what I mean? He
He's
got
still-
something out of his team today, and that to me, that's the difference between
Yeah,
a
they had an
manager who's done it
advantage of
before
an
and a
extra player.
manager and a
They
manager.
had an extra for players.
Well,
an
you know
advantage.
what? Maybe we need to pay the officials more. You know, get our checks out sooner. I mean, come on, dude. If our brown envelope is thicker, maybe we get what we want, right?
You just
It
imagine
does.
Mike Dean sitting at the table in the office and that, and they all go in and out. When it's Mikel Arteta and he hands over the envelope, he's like, "What the fuck? Your envelope's a
He's
bit
like, this
light."
feels a little
I know
light.
it's a little bit late, but you know, there's things going on. I'll make it up to you next week. This is not good, man. The envelope is light.
So, you know, he's like,
Light
Or
envelope.
it's you, Mikel. The rate just went up. You got to pay a little bit more.
doesn't even make a sound when it hits the ground. This is what's in
I'm
here.
putting 20% on the vig.
Yeah.
He's like, we gave you a check. He's like, a check? We don't take checks for this kind of business.
I would like
Check.
to say though, I think irrespective of the referee and the part he played in this game, I don't think we can blame the referee for the defeat, Tony. Can we?
Nope.
Oh my gosh.
Holding kept
no.
putting himself in positions.
Wanted to get that on record, Gary.
You were terrible, Ray.
What?
He did 3 yellow card offenses. He got 2 yellows. He should
So
have been
basically,
sent
what
off.
Tony's telling you, I believe, is what he's trying to say is that, Ray, it's a moot point.
I think we all agree then. Okay.
Do you think the game was? Do you think the game was officiated equally?
No.
Okay, so what you just said is just all false, poor,
No.
not good. It wasn't. We didn't get the
Both
calls. that they
things
got.
can be true. Both things can be correct.
He definitely
say-
gave Holden a chance, didn't he? He said, you know, he gave him opportunities there. You know, again, you know, if that was
One
Xhaka,
second, I'll
But he got-
elaborate.
Yeah, but the first one doesn't need to be called, right? That's the
No.
thing.
So the
Didn't it?
referee has influenced the game by giving the penalty away, right? So
Which it was.
He
That's
gives
because it
them
was
a
a
goal
penalty.
start. He gives
That's
them
because it was a
goal start.
penalty.
It wasn't a penalty.
He's giving them a goal start. He pretty
Can
much
we go through
All right,
this
Mr.
again?
Tom, have a good
penalty-
night.
So like Mr. Tom, but it
He
was
says,
a penalty.
"Have fun,
penalty.
gentlemen." And Tony, I don't know. Why is Tony getting singled out? But I am a gentleman, I guess. So,
Tony's not a
I don't
gentleman.
know.
We're the gentleman, and Tony is.
I don't- Tony, what does that mean? What is that? What are you then?
He's not gentle.
I'm a gentleman.
He's the gentleman. Listen, the referee gave them a goal start, but I believe we would have lost the game anyway, and we did lose the game 3-0. Fair enough.
Fair
No,
enough.
don't like what you had to say.
All right, elaborate.
Do you
Tell
like
me why.
anything fucking today?
No,
Gary?
I don't. Anything Ray says, no,
Tell
never.
me why.
Was the
Gary,
sky
tell me
blue
why.
or something? There had to be something you like that over there.
What upset you so much about what I just said?
He's salty, sponsored by Morton.
Salty. Morton's. Gary Morton.
It's not gonna. You know,
What does
like,
it call him, Morty?
when I was thinking
Can we
about
just
the
call him
show,
Morty?
when I was
Ray?
thinking about this show, I had like a couple of thoughts. Should I come in being really, really positive? Should I come in being really, really negative? Should I be angry? Should I be? Oh, it'll be okay.
I was like, oh no, we have to do a show. I wonder if any of the other lads will turn up. That's what I was.
First I was thinking that because I was like, damn, do we want to even do a show tonight? Because this is crap. This is just, we have nothing good to
Didn't
say
feel like
about it. Can you give me something? All right, I would do this on my show. I did it in the beginning of this when I first started.
Yes.
Tell me something positive about this game today. Everybody, give me an answer.
We're still in fourth place. I'll take the easy one.
No,
we're still in fourth place.
about the game, not about our positioning. The game, what you saw in the game today, not that. Come on, Ray. Come on.
That's not easy.
Exactly. Tell me something
Granit
positive.
Xhaka did not get booked till the 91st minute.
Good one. All right, Tony.
Stan, you got to think, Stan.
Stan? Anybody?
one,
I abstain.
Yep.
Martinelli shows that he's quite lively and will keep going until the very end and doesn't give up the ghost.
I'm
There you go.
abstaining.
So he's
All right, why
positive
not?
there.
Is in the house. Thank you for
Hey, why
big up
not?
Ray, Gary, Stan.
I'm not going to say that second
Didn't
part.
mention you, Tony, but that's okay.
Fuck, I said hello to him, and he just says like, "Fuck you, Tony."
No, you got a special mention. Hey,
Yeah,
Tony,
yeah,
Tony.
you
You
got
got your own box,
yeah.
Tony. All right.
You get your own.
Tony,
You got
Tony,
your own
Tony.
line.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry, why not?
Yeah.
Tony is the Venn
Don't say
diagram.
that to my man, Tony.
Do you know what I mean, Tony? Look at it this way, right? Do you remember the Supremes?
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember when they went to Diana Ross and the Supremes?
Yep.
That's where we are. Me, Gary, and Ray are now just the Supremes, and
We're
you're
just the
Diana Ross.
Supremes.
You're Diana Ross.
Positive. Ramsdale made a couple of good saves.
You transcended the Supreme.
Martinelli never stops.
You know what, You know what? The thing that I wanted from Ramsdale more than all that stuff, I needed some leadership on the pitch.
Communication.
I needed, somebody talking to the players and getting their head out of their, come on, wake up, fellas. This game isn't over just because we're down a goal, we're down a man, we're down 2 goals. It's not over. We still got to play for the next 50 minutes. Let's at least try to get something out of this, right? Something you can build on for the next match, right? So you got 50 minutes, right? 50 minutes or 40 minutes left, right? Oh, 50 minutes actually. 50 minutes left in this match. Let's see this thing out and do something about it, right? When we get out, you're going to get opportunities to score.
But he was done with it in the first half, Gary.
Well, I'm not talking about the manager. I'm talking about the players on the pitch. At some point, somebody on the pitch is going to have to, get these guys over the line.
Yeah, but we needed
to finish strong. I always tell you guys, I want to see us build on what we did in the last game. The last 50 minutes, we basically just lay down there.
So you want us to lay down better next game?
No. What?
Lose 4-0 next game. Do something.
No.
Why not say we got you, Tom? We got you, Gary. We got Spursy, Mikel Arteta. He knows exactly what we need. Holding at the back and Ketia in attack. We're on our way back to the Europa League. Nice one. I think you have written that out. Why not? And recited it probably across a few like that. Good to see you. One positive, one day closer to a good old sacking.
No, we're not.
All managers get sacked in the end, so he is one day closer.
That part is true.
He's not going to be an Arsenal.
You know what? Unless Arteta leaves us to go take the City job,
That'll be a hell of a payoff if he'd walk away as soon as he just put ink to paper.
I think Vieira gets that job.
Yeah. I think he's right there. Based on what, Tony? His performances?
I think Vieira would. No, based that he coached at City, then he went to New York and coached for the same team, basically.
The irony of bottling it to known bottlers, WTF. And this is a City team that have beaten. This is a Spurs team that has beaten City twice. I think drawn with Liverpool twice, beaten some of the bigger clubs, but yet they're 1 point behind us. So we have to keep that in perspective, Stan, does it matter? Is it all about how you do it? It doesn't matter how we get there. Top 4. At the end of the day, if we get top 4, it doesn't matter how we do it.
No, it's only 2 games. I mean, we just got to somehow bundle ourselves over the line to get to that top 4. But as I said, it's all a bonus for me now. My minimum requirement is that we at least get back into the Europa League. So I'm not going to move the goalposts. That's what I set. Whether you think that my expectations were set high or low, of what your expectations are, that's another conversation. So it's all a bonus for me. Obviously, I want to finish in 4th.
Yeah,
I'd like to finish in 3rd.
Doesn't a part of you, Stan, say we got this far, we're so close, we should seal the deal now? It's 2 games.
Yeah, it's all going to be down to how we get there or how we don't get there.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see what I'm getting at? You know, you can't just put it down to, we lost the last 2 games. It's all there's got to be circumstances. It's like, as I said, if we'd lost 3-0 today and we didn't go down to 10 men and everybody trudged off the pitch and you could see that they'd left everything on there, then it's just you just have to admit that we're not quite good enough for this Tottenham team at the moment until we get more recruitment. That's it. You can't argue with it, right? So it all depends. Are we good enough to beat Newcastle? Are we good enough to beat? Who do we play after them? What's the last one?
Everton.
Are we good enough to beat Everton? We weren't the last time that we faced them.
We won 1 out of 3.
We won
1 out of 4. One win, 3 losses under Arteta versus Everton.
So we'll
Yeah.
see. You know,
Everton,
are we going to exact revenge on that?
and Tony, that's a conversation for next Thursday. You can roll out all of your Everton stats.
Okay.
Thursday.
Yeah, park it, Tony. Park it.
Park it.
Maybe I can find the one I was looking for earlier.
If you got any Newcastle stats, those are the ones we want to look at, right?
Yeah.
Because we go to the next game here.
I have nothing to fucking play for.
Everybody keeps saying that, but Southampton and Brighton had nothing to play for, and you see how that went.
Hmm.
I have pride. That's the only thing I have
Well, then,
to play
okay,
for.
Newcastle doesn't have that, or did they
No,
left that at the
Newcastle-
door too?
Newcastle do have something to play for. They got rolled over by City in their last game. They lost to Liverpool before that. They've lost 2 on the bounce against 2 best teams in the land. They're going to want to bounce back. So we can't take Newcastle lightly on Monday.
And,
No, should we?
here's a stat. Of the 3 losses that they had in the last 2 months, either they gave up 5 goals or they get a clean sheet. They basically get no goals scored. They don't score goals. So that's going to be that's how it works. Either we don't give up a goal, or we score 5. And yeah, and you know what?
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I like option B.
we are 4th, right?
Yes.
That team beat them 5-1. Liverpool beat them 1-0.
Mhm.
And City beat them 5-0. So if we're considered part of this top 4, and if we want to actually say yes, based on those results, it shows that they don't score on us, or we basically run away with the game. If we're at that level, right? We are, because our table position says we are. We just go out there and prove that is correct, right? They don't score on us, right?
As much as I hate to say it, why not? Does make a point there, especially when can you put back up Brownie's postal code, please? He says, Stan, you say 2 games, but it's 2 games only. But Arteta likes to lose in trends.
I know.
And if you look in
There's
there,
a couple in isolation.
oh yeah, I didn't see that, but it's
But those, what? A lot of those losses.
he makes a point. He makes a point.
When we're playing like the top 3 teams or the top 2 teams, really, in the first 3 games we had played
City and Man City.
we had played, and then in the ones right in the middle, we had played Liverpool, right?
Man United, Everton.
Man City in one of those, and then the next one where towards the end we lost to Liverpool, we won, then we lost the next 3. Are we saying now that team is considered one of the top teams in the league?
Liverpool?
No, the one we just lost to today.
No.
We're talking about trends, right?
No.
So in reality, the next 2 games we should be able to rebound from this, because they're not Liverpool, they're not City.
Okay. I'll buy that.
If we're going by trends, those trends basically the losses that we had there in the middle, we had played Liverpool twice and City all in a space of 2 weeks. All right.
Yeah.
So the Liverpool games were in the cup, but still, I kind of feel like if we're talking about trends, the trends say we should be able to come out and play well against Newcastle, because they're not, because we didn't just lose to a team that's that good.
All right. Well, I'm sorry, I tried to big you up there, mate, but Gary says you're talking toilet, so blame Gary, not me.
He's gonna have some more material. I know it. Come on, why not? Bring me something else.
I've remixed the Rubbish Arteta song a few times, from UEFA Champions League to Conference League, from Tierney, Cedric to Tavares in attack to Nketiah.
See, Europa League, we're already in the Europa League, so you gotta it's fixed, man. That one is, we aren't missing out on Europa League at the least, all right?
The Newcastle players are playing for their jobs. They won't lay down for us. That's true. I don't think they're going to lay down. We're going to have to go and take that game, Gary. Tony said, Gary, what was the score when we played Everton in December?
Was that the one we lost to them, right? 3-3.
That's the one that Tommy Asso got
2-1.
head stamped on.
Yeah.
VAR didn't address that from Godfrey. 2-1. we actually went ahead through Odegaard.
Yeah, we lost to Liverpool, then we beat Newcastle, then we lost to United and Everton. I'm telling you, there are always trends around the Liverpool and the City losses. We lose 3 games whenever we play. Whenever we're playing those teams, we lose 3 games, and we've done it now. We lost 3 games when we played City in the middle of the season because we lost to Nottingham, we lost to Liverpool and City. 3 games right there in that stretch of 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying that team is Liverpool or City.
They're a top 4 team, Gary.
Gary, are we a top 4 team, or is this season a false image due to combination?
It doesn't matter, does it? We're not going to take it. You want to give it back if we get it?
No, we're going to take it.
You know what I mean? Do you want to give it back? We're giving it back.
We've been consistently top 4 from the middle of December.
At one point, do we say that the table is what it is, all right? And we just go by it.
The table doesn't lie, right?
Well, at some point, we have to take what they're going to give us. If they're going to give us 4th and we're playing like this, hopefully we improve and then we look even better, right? But I'm not going to give it. We're not giving it back. I always go back to Leicester City's not giving back their Premier League just because everybody around them was crap. They're not doing that.
Yeah,
they're
because Arsenal couldn't get their act together that season.
So we're not giving it back. We have opportunities. Yes, we're inconsistent. And that's as Ray has said multiple times. Whoever makes the least amount of mistakes will get 4th place. Right.
After this game, we went from a 76% chance to win top 4 to 60%.
Okay,
well, it's still in our favor to close this thing out, right?
Still good odds. All right, so Tony, Spurs, that team get to go out again. They get to go out again on Sunday against Burnley. Anything could happen, right, Tony?
Yeah, anything could happen with that game because Burnley's been doing fairly well the last 4 games, so you never know what Spurs team will show up, kind of like us.
And Burnley needs to make
get out of the relegation.
Right, they need to win that game. They've got 3 chances to get points to make.
Don't let Mr. Tom hear you say that, Gary.
Oh no, but
he knows
they have to win as well, right? If they don't win any of their games, it doesn't really matter what happens, right?
Yeah, he knows it as well, Mr. Tom.
So, no, I mean, Burnley needs to win a game, get points in a game. Right, if they get points in this game, they're going to be happy for it because any point is going to be positive for them. And after that, they have a short week, right? They have 2 games in less than 4 or 5 days. So this is their best chance to get points. So
Burnley,
yeah, right. To Burnley, they play a midweek game. So this is their game where they've fully rested going into it.
Right.
So they should come into this game ready to get something like this. They're playing. Are they playing home? Right.
Burnley are playing at Tottenham. Oh,
they're playing at Tottenham. All right, so they have to go in there and surprise them, right? So
I think we have to assume. Well, come on, May. I think we have to assume Tottenham will get 6 points, but
man, you can't do that. This season has just shown us, hasn't it? I mean, about making assumptions, man. I mean, those 3 games. Our last
we said we would get 7 in those 3 games, right?
Exactly.
Everybody said 7, right?
Yeah. At
least 7. I said we should get 9, but everybody else said we should be able to get 7.
Yep.
Nothing. Sounded like Robert De Niro.
0.
And in the next 3 games, we're like, wow, we'll be happy to get 4, and we got 9. So, take the points when they come. They're not, like I said, don't waste the trip, man. If they're going to offer it to you, take it. You don't give it back because it's not, you didn't earn it. No, you did. You did the work. You take it.
The sequence, okay, I know we have a couple of L's together. We have 3 threes together at some point, but we do generally tend to fight back. And this is a situation on Monday where we're going to have to fight back against Newcastle.
If we don't get it right, if we don't get Champions League, I won't be angry. I'll be disappointed. There's a difference, right? Because I do feel that getting into 6 is an achievement with what we've got. And when I say what we've got, I'm looking at the state of the squad, what we have set on the bench, even the manager. I think it's an achievement. If we get 4, I'll be elated. That would be like fucking hell, big deal. And for those people that say, "Oh, looking at today's game, Arsenal aren't ready for the top 4. They're not ready to be in the top 4." It's
What
not the
team
same
is?
team. But
What
it's not the
team
same
is?
team that moves forward, is it? Once you get there to the promised land, you get recruitment. You're better. You don't go in with the same army. You add to it, so you make yourselves better. So I don't buy into that subscription of, well, Arsenal just showed tonight that they're not ready to be in the top 4. And then, as Gary says, who is? You make it to the promised land. You get more reinforcements. You're better equipped.
Yeah. And next season, when we're back, next season,
Everybody's
be
making
better.
it seem. Everybody's making it seem like, if that team makes it in the 4th place, that they're ready to go. Nah, they're not. They're not any better going in. So, do you not want to take that? Yeah, you want that. So,
we want it to be us and not them, Gary. For sure. I don't want to watch Champions League next year and look at that team playing.
I
want
think
it
that
to
we're
be
all going to be
my
back
team.
here for our St. Totteran's Day. It's going to happen. I've got faith. I mean, two games of football.
We just have to wait.
Don't
10
come with the
days.
players aren't up for it. If you had a bonus of £500,000 sitting on it, you'd be up for it, right?
Yeah.
You'd be up for it. Don't tell me
Yeah.
the players aren't up for it. They don't care. If we don't do it, it's because the players weren't good enough, or the management. Something happens, and the management, the way that they maybe manage in the game, wasn't good enough.
Why not said we don't look like a top 4 team? I'm thinking about next season and football sustainability, self-sustaining club when everyone else strengthens, and we are back in Europe after a 25-year stint in there. Arteta is back out of comfort zone of 1 game a week to 2, 3 games a week.
yeah,
And
but
that's it. We're going to strengthen,
what?
right, Gary?
We can't play. We can't. We're not. No. We can't, I mean, I hear that, but we were 8th. It wasn't like we were like 14th and we just got into the top 8. No, we were 8th. We were, a couple of games from getting top 6 anyways, right? I can't remember how far down we were.
We
but-
were about 4 points off.
So we're like a couple of wins away from being in top 6 in the last couple of seasons, probably.
Seems to be that way, doesn't it? So
So
a couple of wins.
Yeah.
Now we're there. We're in 6th. Yeah, we got it, and we're 6 points away from being in top 4. Why not take it? And the least you gotta. I say you want to take when it comes, because you don't. It's not nobody. It's not offered for you, but when you have an opportunity to take it, you take it, right?
Yeah,
Right?
Exactly,
Like-
Gary. And that's why I would say to, sorry to just chime in there, to those that say we're not ready now, I would say when we didn't win the final of the Europa League under Emery, if we had, we would have gone into the Champions League. Would we have been any more ready then? No, but you've got to be in it to win it. You build
Now,
on it.
Look at the
Sorry, Gary, I didn't mean to
the
chime in
league
there.
table. League table last year, Man United came second, so we're clearly better than Man United.
And they
this
weren't.
season.
They weren't top 2. Were they a top 2 team? Not one person thought they were a top 2 team. In the Premier
they
League.
were
Our
they
pub
were
team's
winning.
better than United, to be fair. at the
I
minute,
mean,
so.
The league table said they were a top 2 team.
Exactly, but did they turn it away and say, "Nah, we don't want it"? Because you know what, we didn't actually deserve it. No,
Right
you
now,
take
the
it.
league says that we're a top 4 team. Right now.
Yeah.
Right now. Last season, Man United were above us. Leicester City were above us. West Ham and Tottenham were above us. So that's
And the only
4
people
teams.
the only people that can change that is us. If we don't get any points from here on out, and it's on us. It's not on. We can't say, well, you know what, they didn't drop games. Nah, we had 3 opportunities to get 6 points. We failed the first time. Now we have to get 6 points out of 6.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
that should have been the mentality coming into this match, is that we need 6 points. You get 3 today, you make it easy on yourself. And also, not only that, but that's why you strive for maybe trying to get 3rd, right? Because you win out, you might get 3rd. If you fail and you get 4th, damn,
But look
We'll
why we
take it,
failed.
right?
You know, we didn't fail because we had players just like trudging around and not trying and not trying to. We lost, man, because we were down a man. And that just ripped everything up. And I think you're right, Gary. The more I think about it, that I just thought, you know what, fuck this, like throw it in for this one. Let's look ahead. But then the only thing that contradicts that, as we've all been saying, is, well, if that's what you're saying, then why doesn't Saka get hooked a lot earlier and save those precious legs, the precious energy?
The two things are like two different people were making decisions about the same game.
It was like multiverses were converging at once. There was a different Mikel Arteta from this universe, and there was evil one from that one, and yeah, it was a conversion.
You know what? I always
devil and angel.
This is to why not, and this is what I like to see in my managers. I like to feel like they've overachieved with the players that they have. We say that all the time. Guess what? We always say Potts is a really good manager. Look what he's got to play with, and look how he overachieves with that team, right?
Graham Potter.
Sorry.
Is that your nickname? You call him Potts?
No, yeah. When me and him, when we're hanging out, having a drink,
He may go to Tottenham. There was some rumor about him going to Tottenham.
No, but think about it. We always want our managers to overachieve with the players that they have, right? Because you never know, and that's what the good managers do. They take somebody who you think, and they make him so much better, and you're like, wow. That's pretty cool, right? And that's what Arteta is doing. He's overachieving, and that's what you want to continue to do. So, and if you're overachieving with better players, guess what? They're going to look like world
beaters,
world class, players at the end of the day, all right? So, and that's what you want. You want to overachieve with what you got, or else, you're not doing a good job coaching these guys up.
Why not said if we only had Chambers and Ainsley Maitland-Niles to fill in, we would have been better off. And that comes down to thinning out the squad and not doing anything genuine.
We thinned out the squad for what reason?
I know.
There was no reason. We weren't it was
bad eggs, man. Bad eggs have got to go. Fucks up the salad.
Smelly eggs. 8th is a goddamn disgrace. Might as well be.
The smell was still there, man. The smell of the eggs was still there. I could smell it every time.
There's still a
6 is
bit on the plate there. It's not all gone. There's a bit still on that plate, but the main stench of it is gone. And I just think as well.
I don't think Chambers was it was stinky. Maitland-Niles, some people could say maybe, but I don't believe Chambers was a player that you needed to get rid of at all. Not right now.
He was better
for £2 million. I don't think it was worth letting him go, because you could have just let him go at the end of the summer. Maitland-Niles,
$2 million. You wonder
I'd agree with you on that, Gary. Actually,
what the hell happened 100%. With that $2 million? If you're going to sell him, get a hell of a lot more for that. $5 or $6 million.
And he was versatile for us, right? We played him in the middle. We played him out wide if we needed to, and we actually did well.
My ears were burning.
When
your ears were burning. Why were your ears burning?
Because if you can set my light with a lighter.
We can't.
He was doing a Richard Pryor impression.
No, exactly, man. Exactly. We don't have our margins are really thin, right?
There, Tony. That comment was for you. If you only had Chambers and Ainsley Maitland-Niles fill in, we would have been better off.
Yeah. What is it? If only me auntie had nuts, she'd be me uncle.
Yeah, but it's stupid fucking selling both of them. You're only to be out $1 million on wages.
If only we still had Luca Torreira. There you go. Top that.
Or Guendouzi.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you know what? That one is not. That's not the same. But
head of chicken.
Yeah, it is.
It's not.
Right.
He was.
I'm gonna.
I think we still had Mesut Ozil.
He was a £50 million player.
We're talking about
Mesut Ozil was saving us right now.
The contract situation. That is the bad part. Getting him out of the squad, not a bad thing. If the manager says he's not going to work, he's not going to work for me, so he's got to go. The contract, different story.
Is this an Olga discussion? Right? Is this a Aubameyang discussion?
No, Guendouzi, the contract they put out there so that he goes away for as cheap a deal as possible. Why are we giving players up and then also taking a loss on whether or not they can
that is worth
go?
$50 million.
Mavropanos could be sold for an extra $10 million. We get none of that.
Don't worry, we're going to make it all back on Saliba. We're going to make a king's ransom on Saliba, man.
No, we're
You wait.
stupid.
Don't go there.
We're gonna just give him back to
Don't go there.
yeah.
Chambers would have been a versatile help right now. I'm not going to go through the Premier League games because I don't want to prolong the agony for all four of us here. But yeah, we get through a few comments and then we'll get everyone's final comments and say goodbye.
You met your 2-hour quota, Ray. You can.
We met the quota, Tony. If this is overachieving, if so, we are finished or need a better manager, as this was underachieving with Emery, with playing in Europe as well. And
Can I go off on that?
This is overachieving for Arteta, a manager in his second or third year in the
No, it's
coaching
not.
at all. It is.
It is.
What manager
No,
in
it
his
isn't.
third year? What manager in his third year?
Should we finish eighth last season?
No. Third year, right?
Mhm.
Third year. In what we consider the toughest league in
Third
the world.
time, third year.
Didn't
right?
he make a promise to Willian about the third year? What did he say?
Gary,
That's
what-
why that's why he's a young
What
manager
we're
who's
trying to
really
do- What
talking
we're
a lot
trying
of
to do
junk,
is,
right?
is historic. We have the youngest team in the Premier League, and we're trying to get top four. Even if we get top six, it's already
It's overachieving, but it doesn't. I didn't want Arteta in here because I thought this was a bigger job than him. I'm not. I
No
wanted.
European
I
distractions.
wanted a more
We had a
senior.
good team. We
No,
spent
but that was-
150 million.
That was stupid because we didn't even take advantage of that. So obviously, so all of that makes. That's why you needed a manager who would actually take advantage of what was given to them. We didn't do that. I don't want Arteta because of his overachieving means we're learning along with him, right? We're learning how to win again.
You know what,
You know?
Gary? We're fucking
think-
stuck with
Okay.
him whether
It
we
seems
like
to
it
me
or
that
not.
Why Not doesn't like handsome centre backs. He likes them all.
Saliba will be a top drawer, better than Harry Maguire, Ben Shite.
He wants some
Um,
gnarly looking.
I think I'm going to go around the table and let Gary have the final
He's so
word.
pretty, so pretty.
Jeez, he's had awful words. Why give him a final word?
Gary's going to have the final word, so Stan and Tony.
The
can-
final words? Is that what you mean?
Sure,
With lots of S's?
sure.
Like Gary says, Arteta with an infinite amount of R's.
Tony, what have you got? Final words of wisdom, Tony.
Still in our fucking hands.
Just take it. Just take it, right? Arsenal, come on. It's Newcastle. It's not going to be easy. We have to stop conceding goals, Tony. That's been bad last 6-7 games. We have not got clean sheets, and we need to
Yep.
score some goals up there.
We've conceded 14 goals and he's made 14 saves. It was 14 goals and 12 saves during the game, but he made 2 more saves, so it's balanced out. It's still not there good enough.
Not good enough. We need to do better, Stan.
For me, I'm grit to the end of this season because it's still on. I said that from here on out, everything is a bonus. The only reason I'm so angry today is that, as I keep saying, we never got a chance, in my opinion, to play Tottenham today. We get a chance to play. We didn't play them. We were hanging on because we were down to 10 men to them, and they were only going to. Can you imagine if it was the other way around? If Tottenham had gone down to 10 men, we'd be rubbing our hands. We'd love it. We'd love to take that advantage. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm really annoyed and disappointed about. But I'm a little bit with Mikel Arteta when he says that we have to forget about that now. We can't harp on about it. We really have to look to the next game.
You can't cry about it. You got to move on to the next
Got
game,
to get
right?
to that next game because we may be able to still do the unthinkable, and that's end up at the big boys' dinner table in the Champions League. So,
And that would be money for Amazon. That would be money for Arsenal fans.
I bet they're loving this. This is like fucking gold for them, isn't it? Eh?
For drama.
They decided to make 2 seasons out of it.
Dare I say it's that contraption, Tony, that goes like that. But anyway, you know what I mean. Gary,
I can't wait to see that Amazon thing. Can't wait.
yeah. It's let's go to Newcastle, let's win. We'll have a show on Sunday. We'll know what Tottenham have done by then. Gary, you get the final words tonight, Gary.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. So
You got 2 minutes.
we got 3 and yeah. So we
We've got 2 hours.
Gary's out of fucking words. It's in
Yeah,
this shit.
you've heard all I had to say. Now we coming into Newcastle. I don't care where they are in the league. I don't care if they're on the beach. Arsenal needs to come out and play. Right? When you come out and play, we're playing away. I don't care. I don't care who's healthy or not. Whoever gets on that pitch plays, gives me 100%. Plays smart, and we should finish them off if we do that. So it's all on you, Arteta. Get you guys ready to play.
I know we've said cup finals for the last 15.
I know that
16
Gary had
years.
the last word, but I was just thinking in that, right?
Cup finals.
If Gabriel is going to be, it's going to be interesting to see what happens at centre back. It's got to be what a rickety Ben White and a Tomiyasu, right? Tomiyasu would probably have to shift in there because he plays there. So it's going to be interesting to see what we put out.
What hodgepodge of a back four we're going to have.
Do we know how bad Gabriel's hurt yet?
I know it's a
Probably
muscle strain.
Tavares on the left and Cedric on the right. You know,
Does Newcastle's defense concern us?
Offense, you mean?
No, their defense. Does that concern us?
their defense doesn't. Their offense does a little bit for me.
A little bit, right?
Our ability to score concerns me a little bit up there.
Yeah, but the only reason our offense is going to struggle is because what? Who are we missing? What are we missing offensively that's going to hinder us?
We had no cohesion tonight.
Right?
Right?
And like I said, and their weakness is their defense. So is their defense going to cause us that big of an issue? Like,
I see what you're going with that. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So it's going to be one of the two. So either we are if their defense is really good, then we're in trouble because then it's a wash, and we know our defense is going to struggle against there. Yeah. But I think our offense collectively is better than theirs. So, and their defense is not, I think, better than that team.
I think our defense is ragged.
So I have a feeling like we need to be, if it's a 3-2 match, so be it. 4-2 match, so be it.
Who defensively is going to be on? Who defensively is going to be on the bench for us? That's going to be interesting.
Doesn't matter. We're gonna score. We're gonna lose 5-4. I don't win 5-4.
You're gonna hate this, but we just have to match what Tottenham do.
I don't want to match them. I want to win games. Because if you try to do what they do, guess what? What happens if they score late? I mean, we don't know. This is we'll get the 3 points.
However they end.
Yeah, we'll end in about 1 minute.
No, think about it. If they go out and they lose, right? And we come out and we know that if we win, it's over.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Can we not just drag Pablo Mari back from where he was on loan?
I don't know.
Remember, we had that surplus of fucking centre backs. We had fucking to collect them.
We had 8 of them last year.
It was like a collection, like you see, like all these like rich Arabs collect like Rolls Royces. We had a collection of centre backs at one time.
We had 8 to start out the season last year.
All right, we'll leave it there. We'll talk Sunday. Slap a like on the video, and thank you, Tony, Stan, Gary, for joining me tonight.
And everyone.
These ones aren't the funnest, the best, the most fun ones, but
they're cathartic though.
They are a little bit, right? There, I was in a daze during the watch along earlier today, but it's a lot better.
I was watching. I was thinking, you poor bastard.
Yeah, I didn't talk for like 50 minutes. I had not much to say because there's not anything good to say.
Repeating the same things over and over. We have to go to Newcastle now.
I bet you were sitting there thinking to yourself, I can't believe I fucking booked a day off work for this shit.
Did you see how? Yes.
Because I worked my whole day, my work week around today as well. I was up at 6:30 so I could get 4 or 5 hours in.
Yep. These are the things Gooners do. We take half days, we take time off to go and watch our team and hope that they repay something. Well, we didn't get any repayment today. But I'll take a deferred payment Monday and the following Sunday against Everton. Please, thanks for watching, everyone. Yes, I was just thankful Mahir came back for the last 10 minutes. If you were watching
another stat, we have a worse record on Mondays.
Thank you for coming back, Mahir. What, Tony?
So we have a worse record of anybody in the league for Mondays this season.
As long as it's not Paul Tierney and it's Mondays, we'll be okay. Oh no, it is Monday. All right, we're out of here. We'll see you
Good night,
Sunday.
Tony.
Thanks, Tony. Good night, Tony.
All right,
Man,
everybody.
Jerry, thank you.
Did you just call me Toey?
Totally, Toey.